Welcome. Oh, good. Perfect way to start off the show. Welcome, one and all, to a brand new episode of A Plus Hero Report, your stop for your Marvel, DC television, and movie news. Welcome to A Plus Hero Report. As we're going to go ahead and wrap up your weekend beautifully, ladies and gentlemen. We got 6 incredible topics that we're going to be getting into today. As we're going to dive into some MCU news, as Tom Holland is discussing Spider-Man 4. We even have some DCU news, as Nathan Fillion is in the news this week discussing his role as Guy Gardner's Green Lantern. We're also going to give you an update in regards to the brand new Evil Dead film. We got some Witcher cancellations and so much more. So let's go ahead and dive into this week's episode, and we'll see you on the other side. There we go. I got it right now this time. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to a brand new episode of A Plus Hero Report this Sunday afternoon, wherever you guys are certainly checking us out at. I hope you guys are having a fantastic weekend so far. We don't have the full crew here, but we definitely got Stuart on board with us today, buddy. How you doing, man? I'm loving your setup back there. You got a ton of stuff out there. I keep seeing like you keep unveiling things every week.
Yeah, we recently, so we're gonna try to get a couple more shelves to get a little bit more back there. But yeah, recently did some reorganizing and it's working out so good. So far, so good. We even I don't know if you can see in the box there, got a record player finally. So we've had like a few vinyls that we've just had really just for collecting. But now we get to like actually listen to them soon.
Nice. What kind of vinyls do you got?
So we found one, it was the Village People, and it was signed by like, I want to say like 3 or 4 members. And we just like found that on the street. We didn't even purchase that or anything. We also got a vinyl of the Gravity Falls soundtrack. Amazing cartoon. If you guys haven't seen that show, it's so good. And then I can't remember what the other ones we got are. I was trying to get the South Park vinyl because it was there was a live concert that they did, and they got cool. And they were gonna basically was like all the famous songs from South Park. Anyways, they had it on a vinyl, but unfortunately that one sold out at Amoeba, which is like our local music place, before we could get one.
Yeah, we have a record player here too. We try and get a couple of vinyls every year. If it's not for Christmas, it's for somebody's birthday. We got a lot of some alternative rock. We got some R&B for sure. My girlfriend's a big Linkin Park fan. What is that? New metal? Nice. Is that a new metal? I don't even know what that would be referred to as these days. But yeah, got a couple Linkin Park albums. Got my Foo Fighters album in there. She loves her some Florence and the Machines. I recently just got two Bruno Mars album. I think 24 Karat Magic and his collaboration with Anderson .Paak, Silk Sonic. So we got some great vinyls that we listen to. We even have like a best of Whitney Houston stuff. So over the weekends when we're cleaning the house or we're just trying to keep the TV off, we got some good music going on in the household.
That's perfect.
Yeah, I love vinyls. But hopefully everybody's weekend, wherever you're certainly watching us from, is having a fantastic weekend so far. It's been a little rainy and a little bit overcast out here in Fort Worth, Texas. What's the weather like where you're at, Stuart?
Weather is sunny but somehow cold.
Sunny but somehow cold. I guess is that like the Bay life?
Yeah, it makes sense because we're like literally a mile away from the ocean where my apartment's at, so that's probably like the main reason.
Nice. That must be great to be able, especially during the summertime, to just be like, babe, let's just go to the beach.
Yeah, we could just walk down there. It's great having it in walking distance.
For 1 year, I used to live out in a small town called Port St. Lucie in Florida. I don't know if there's any Floridians out here watching us right now. But we had to be like maybe like 3-5 miles out from the beach. It used to be great during the summertime, man. After work, we just go out there, find a nice little spot out there and whatnot. It was perfect. So I'm really jealous that you guys have a beach over there, man.
Nice. Wait, is that like near where Disney World is at?
It's probably like 2 hours south of Orlando. It's kind of like smack dab in the middle of the state on the right on the East Coast.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. But where's everybody coming from today? Let us know wherever you're watching us from. We definitely would appreciate it, man. We're streaming live on a ton of places right now. We're live over on Twitter. We're also live over on YouTube, live over on Facebook, as well as Twitch, guys. So wherever you're watching us, feel free to like this video, retweet it, share it, let everybody know APlus Hero Report is currently live right now. We definitely would love your viewership. Let's see who's in the live chat and give some people some shout outs today, man. We got Blossom in the house, as always, certainly coming through. Ram Jam in the house also. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. Yeah, we definitely are so far. Johnny Marrero. I'm doing good, Johnny. Appreciate you certainly coming through today. Sam, what's up, Sam? Good to see you too here, buddy. Johnny says there's been some crazy Power Ranger news this week. Yeah, well, the news that I at least know of, and you guys can fill me in on anything that I missed. I do know that Boom Studios announced the end of the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger series. I did do a brief little video on it this past week. If you guys didn't get a chance to check it out, we did talk about that topic. I know when the news originally dropped, a lot of people thought like Boom Studios was no longer doing Power Ranger comics, but that's not the case. It sounds very much like it's a revamping or maybe like a fresh start, if you will. As the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger comic series will in fact be coming to an end, I believe with issue 122, if I'm not mistaken, as they're currently doing their Darkest Hour story arc. So once that wraps up, I believe that they're going to be finishing Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And if anything, they did state that at San Diego Comic-Con, Boom Studios was going to have a panel that discusses the future of Power Rangers. So clearly they have other projects in store. I just don't know what that's going to look like. Have you heard that news, Stuart?
Yeah, I heard that the series was ending. I haven't heard anything about what they might be announcing in the future. But my assumption is we'll still probably get like the one franchise or the one series that Amy Jo Johnson is working on.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know Johnny's been talking about that. Was it The Return? MMPR The Return?
I think so.
I think it's like is it like an alternate reality or like an alternate universe? I believe that's what it was called. It's been getting a lot of praise lately. So whether or not Amy Jo Johnson decides to return and they make that sort of like an ongoing series and play in that world a little bit, always a possibility. So Boom Studios got some surprises up their sleeves for sure.
Yeah, and it was The Return.
Okay, cool. I got to pick it up, man, because everybody keeps talking about it. Enrique, what's up, Enrique? He says I just saw all the episodes of the Knuckles series and it was amazing. Have you checked out Knuckles yet, Stu?
I did, and I enjoyed it. First of all, let me just say that before I say this next part, I enjoyed it, but it's like you had 3 episodes where it was a show about Knuckles, and then the next 3 episodes, Wade became the main character, and suddenly it became a remake of Kingpin. Like a mixture of Kingpin and The Big Lebowski, basically.
Okay. Would you mind? You think you could maybe do a series review for the channel?
I might be able to. Yeah, I'll see if I can get around to that tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. We'll keep you guys posted if we get a Knuckles series review for you guys. Let's see. Enrique does have some news about delays. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit. Yeah. Sounds good. It's good to see everybody in here. We got 8 people watching us on Twitter right now, 6 over on YouTube. Again, man, if you're watching us live, do us a big favor, man. Hit that like button. It definitely goes a long way. Retweet, share these videos. Let people know that we're currently live. And also in the chat, let us know where you're watching us from. We definitely want to get an idea of where our everybody's checking us out from live. Stuart, you ready to get into some honorable mentions with me, man? Start off our first segment of the day?
I am indeed.
Let's do this. I got like 5 topics to briefly kind of go through. Do you have anything in particular you're talking about today?
Nothing. No, actually, I think I was going to give an honorable mention to the Knuckles series, but that already came up, so I think I'm good.
He stole your thunder, man. He stole your thunder. All right. Did you want to talk more about it, or are you good for right now?
Oh, I'm good.
Okay. Couple quick things to let everybody know. Again, for those of you who are new to the channel, honorable mentions is pretty much topics that didn't quite make the main cut of our 6 topics, but definitely felt you guys certainly deserved to know about what else is certainly going on out there. Talking about brand new series, we do have ourselves a the Dead Boy Detectives, which I know. Let me go ahead and bring this down because it is currently now over on Netflix for you guys. I don't know how many episodes that they've currently dropped. I mean, all the episodes have dropped. I just don't know how long the series is. If anything, maybe like 8 to 10 episodes, I would assume. But Dead Boy Detectives is here. Originally set to be a HBO Max series, if I'm not mistaken, and then eventually got picked up by Netflix instead. And now that it is a part of Netflix, they have appropriately connected it to the Sandman universe for the Neil Gaiman Sandman Netflix series we got sometime last year. Dead Boy Detectives is now considered sort of a spinoff of the Sandman series. Stuart, remind me if I'm mistaken or not, though. Wasn't this supposed to be a Doom Patrol spinoff, or am I tripping?
I mean, I'd use the term spinoff very loosely, but yes, because kind of like how the Doom Patrol made their debut in Titans, but then when they got their own show, it wasn't the same Doom Patrol. It was kind of like that with Dead Boys Detectives. Like we have them appear in Doom Patrol, but then when the spinoff was announced, it was announced that it wasn't going to be in the same continuity, which to me doesn't make it a true spinoff, you know?
I get you. I get you. So they had a whole episode based off of Dead Boy Detectives, and was that the last season of Doom Patrol?
No, that was season 3 where they made the appearance. I actually it got me excited for their show because it ended with Dorothy like traveling with them. So I thought the
Mm,
show was going to include Dorothy as like one of the main characters, but of course that
gotcha.
ended up not being the case.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, check it out, guys. This is a series I might actually end up checking out myself. I mean, I am currently watching a Netflix series about like the unexplained or something like that, like an 8 episode series. I'm like really engrossed in like unsolved mysteries at the moment. So I'm checking that series out. But once I'm done with that, Dead Boy Detectives is on my list. Um, let's see here.
I love I don't know who did the cover of that song, but they had like a trailer for it which included the song Black Parade,
Oh,
but it was like a cover of the Black Parade, so it actually was like pretty good in that trailer.
are you sure it was? I thought it was the actual My Chemical Romance, but maybe they did do a cover for it. But regardless, anytime you add that song to a soundtrack, it's a winner to me.
Oh yeah, opening to Clerks 3, one of my new favorite openings uses that exact song.
Okay, okay. Man, I still have not checked out Clerks 3. It was so
Oh,
in and out of the theater so quick, I missed
it
it.
was.
Let's see here. What else we have? Oh, believe it or not, Clue is in the news. It looks like, according to the Hollywood Reporter, the Clue film and TV rights end up landing at Sony. Sounds like Hasbro Entertainment is set to work with the studio on adaptions of the classic board game. It's I don't even know if I've actually seen the first Clue. It's been such a long time. If I have seen it, I might have only seen it like on like one instance. But I barely remember it. But I do love a good classic sort of who done it. And I used to play the board game Clue as a child, growing up. So I definitely had my experiences with Clue, but maybe not so much the movie. And I am interested in this in the sense that we are kind of fresh off of two whodunit films by Ryan Johnson himself for his Knives Out stuff. We even have like the recent was it Oriental Express that might have recently had come out a couple years back, and Death on the Nile. So there definitely is some stories to definitely be told there. If anything, I would be kind of curious as to what Sony and Hasbro's take on this is going to be, right? Like those two films tend to be rather serious and take themselves seriously. Do you think there's a room for another whodunit series as a classic Clue to bring itself back, or do you think they'll take a different direction with this?
I kind of hope they go with the same direction as the original, in terms of it being a comedy, and because we haven't seen this done in a movie in hell long, I would love to see multiple endings, like depending on what theater you.
Ah, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I do dig that. I do dig that.
'Cause I think that's what they did with the original release, and then, like, when you watch it, like, on home release, you get all 3 endings side by side.
That's pretty dope. I think that's pretty genius. What else do we have in the news? Oh, 28 days later, or 28 years later,
Yeah,
I should
yeah.
say, wind up getting some brand new casting announcements. Um they do have the new trilogy that's in fact set. Deadline this week reported that Jodie Comer, who I feel like we just recently made an announcement on, Jodie Comer, Ralph Fiennes, and believe it or not, Aaron Taylor Johnson. That's right, Craven the Hunter himself, Aaron Taylor Johnson, have boarded the first picture. 28 years later, we'll be having Aaron Taylor Johnson, Jodie Comer attached to it this as well. And you know, Stuart, I personally haven't been necessarily the biggest Aaron Taylor Johnson fan. I didn't really care for him so much in Godzilla or Quicksilver, but he really caught my eye in was it Bullet Train,
Mhm.
like last year or the year before, and I'm just like, man, this guy's got some great acting chops that I just maybe just never saw him in too many other things to really pay attention to. But now he's going to be in Craven, which that's a Sony film, so I'm really keeping my expectations super low.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's in 28 years later, I'm like, okay, like I could really see him doing something with this, man. I really like this casting choice.
This might finally be his moment to get back in a, mainstream movie that doesn't suck. 'Cause, or at the very least, a mainstream movie where he's allowed to do a lot more. Because even with Godzilla and Age of Ultron, even if those movies aren't bad, what they gave him wasn't really much. It's like in Age of Ultron, they set him up just to die. In Godzilla, they set him up just to like observe what's going on and make like small commentary here and there, like go, whoa, those monsters are big.
Yeah, that's exactly what he was. He was just social commentary. Um, let's see here. What else do we have? As Sam, or I believe it was Sam that mentioned, or Enrique in the chat, he did let us know that there were some delays when it comes to Sony films. And I thought this was an interesting one here. Let me go ahead and actually bring up this article because we do have some release dates for some films that are being pushed back and pushed forward. This is from Deadline.com. Craven the Hunter, which I believe was set to go ahead and drop like October or November, or maybe I'm mistaken, is now being pushed into December. It's actually replacing The Karate Kid, which is moving from a holiday time period to now set to drop in the summertime. It says Sony has pushed its reboot of Karate Kid from December 13th to this year to May 30th of next year. So it's going to end up being a summer release. It also says Karate Kid's spot will be taken by Craven the Hunter, which goes from August 30th, the Labor Day weekend, to December 13th now. So Craven the Hunter is now becoming a holiday film. So I thought those were some pretty big changes. But it says it will have an IMAX screens, which will probably really work financially for them if it's a successful film. It will be the only rated R movie during the holidays. So a nice little change, of course. It will go up against that frame against the animated Lord of the Rings, The War of Rohirrim. So maybe the move is a beneficial one in the sense that it's getting the opportunity to be its only rated R film and not be up against anything similar to it.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about the moves?
I guess I'm slightly relieved with the Karate Kid one. I'd rather them, have more time to work on it than have it get rushed since we haven't even gotten like, a trailer for it or anything. As for the Craven news, you can push it back more and more. My hype isn't going to change.
Yeah, no, I feel you there. And I don't know if it's I will say this. I don't know if there's necessarily a delay in Karate Kid. I haven't heard anything about there being a delay as far as like the movie goes. I'm trying to see if it says anything in particular. It says the plus here on Karate Kid's movie, the movie will now follow the 6th and final season of Cobra Kai. So I guess before, when it was set to come out, Cobra Kai was going to come after. So maybe this is a strategic sort of
Ooh,
a
yeah.
decision for them, since they clearly say the movie will now follow the sixth and final season of Cobra Kai. So I do wonder if maybe the story, like it does open the idea, like, is this story connected to Cobra Kai? Is there some sense of a lineage that happens, like when we do see Daniel's character, things have already gone down in Cobra Kai? Does he reference those things in the movie, sort of thing? Or do they just want this to be easier for the fans to recognize, like, now that Cobra Kai's released, this is sort of the next step in Daniel's journey or story, if you will? What do you think about that, though?
Yeah, I think that would make the most sense. If it comes out after Cobra Kai, they can say chronologically also takes place after Cobra Kai. And it gives them like more flexibility as to why certain events from Cobra Kai may not be brought up in the movie. Because
Mm.
personally, if you ask me personally, I don't think they're going to even reference Cobra Kai at all in the movie. And I think having it take place after the events of Cobra Kai is the easiest way to do that.
Yeah, no, I would honestly agree with you there too. Enrique says, is the production of the new Karate Kid reboot film will be coming. It's currently filming already. So the Karate Kid movie is currently being in front of cameras. So that's one of the reasons why I say I don't believe that this is in regards to a delay. I think this is more a strategic standpoint of finding a better release date that maybe makes sense with the final release of the Cobra Kai season. So, and I know some people have been wondering, like, does this mean the Power Rangers reboot is going to be canceled or delayed now that Karate Kid is being pushed back? And I don't believe so, because I think that they're probably going at their regular pace. Again, they're still filming right now, and it's only April. So if anything, I do expect filming to hopefully wrap within the next month or two, and then them eventually going into post-production for the remainder of the year. And maybe as they do post-production and wrap that up and things happen with the editing, then I can easily see Jonathan Entwistle moving on to other projects until he has to start ramping up sort of promotion and marketing for the Karate Kid heading into sort of the summer. So I don't expect there to be any delays unless some news is dropped that I'm not aware of. But yeah, so I think I think he can easily do both. Do you think that's a possibility, Stu, or what?
I think so too. I think, yeah, like you said, I don't think it'll change the filming schedule. I think the only thing that's changed is the release
The
schedule.
release
So,
date.
if he's still going to be directing Power Rangers, I don't see it like stopping him.
Yeah, I don't see him that interfering with this at all. And then last but not least, before we get into our main topics of the day, this had to be discussed, Stuart. James Gunn, earlier this weekend, man, dropping hints as he always does. No comments, no quotes, no captions, just images. And I do feel like over the past several weeks, if not the past month or so, he has been letting people know that things are coming along really smoothly with Lanterns. I think somebody has asked him about whether or not the scripts are done. I think he gave a couple of emojis, like the idea that, yeah, if it's not done, is definitely like things are definitely in motion. And I think the fact that he dropped this is almost like a confirmation that, like, yeah, we have everything that we need here as far as final script. So I honestly would not be surprised if literally like tomorrow or sometime this week after we talk about this, if we maybe get some Lantern news or something's going to be laid up and set up for us here relatively soon. So if James Gunn is dropping hints like this, I think we might have something here for you guys soon.
Beware my power, Green Lantern's light.
I'm super pumped for this, man. If
Yes.
anything, I would probably expect like a showrunner announcement, maybe a couple of writers and directors. Who knows? Maybe we even get like official cast as to who's gonna be like our Hal Jordan or John Stewart sort of thing. I would love some news this week, yo. I really would.
Do you think, I'm pretty sure it's safe to say it won't happen, but do you think if they hired David Ramsey to play John Stewart, do you think he could pull that off?
That's interesting. Because I do love David Ramsey. But there is a level of like, and I hate to say this, Stuart, because I really respect these actors. I really do. But I look at like, I don't want to say I look at CW actors a certain type of way, or just TV actors a certain type of way, because I think Stephen Amell has been able to do that. Like, network television to streaming service stars pretty well. Um, I just, if you're gonna bring somebody like that, and then you want to eventually transition him into being able to be like a movie star, because these characters that are gonna be playing the characters on TV are definitely gonna be the ones that are gonna be in the movies too. And as much as I love David Ramsey, I could clearly see him as a TV Green Lantern. I just don't know if I could see him as a streaming and movie Green Lantern. And I
Mhm.
feel that's like super disrespectful. But maybe I just haven't seen enough of him yet to see it. But I just don't see it, man. I just don't see it.
Totally fair. For me personally, I think he'd be able to pull it off because like the big thing, assuming like that they film the TV side of DC the same way Marvel does it, where it's like kind of a movie schedule. I think you would get a much better performance out of him than you would on the CW because it wouldn't be like on the CW when they film they have a very tight filming schedule, so it's
I
like you
get
got
you.
like 2 or 3 takes at the most if you're lucky. Here it would be like I think he would have more flexibility. So don't get me wrong, I'm not asking because he would be my number one choice, but I'm asking just because the more I think about it, the more I think he's probably ready. I think he could take on the role if like he was given the opportunity.
They should have pulled the trigger with this man. They really
Yes.
should have. I'm so disappointed that they teased it and never gave it to us because I truly do think he would have been a great John Stewart. I really do. I just think when it comes to the idea of like a big time TV and movie franchise, do you want him carrying it? And look, I've seen some great emotional roller coasters with David Ramsey as Diggle. That he has literally moved me on the television screen. So he may be more than capable. He may be more than capable, man. So
Yeah.
I just don't know. I would be eager to see who is truly on the short list, though. If he's like on the short list, like top 3, top 5, totally believable to me, for sure, for sure.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I'm really excited for this casting announcement for both John Stewart and Hal Jordan.
Yeah, so hopefully we get something here this week, guys. But stay tuned to your local Twitter and movie pages that you follow. He says, Blossom says, in the brightest day, blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. For those who worship evils might beware
Where
my
my
power.
power, Green
Green Lantern.
Lantern's light.
Yeah, man, it gives me chills every
I,
time.
do you ever watch a comic historian on YouTube?
No, not really.
Anytime he like reviews a comic book that has Green Lantern in it and he does like the the whole line, I don't know why, just something about hearing him read the phrase of Green Lantern, he does such a fun job of it. Like he's just super into it every time.
I dig it. I dig the devotion, bro. Shout out to Blossom once again with the $5 super chat, man. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you always coming through, Blossom. Look, guys, we don't have any sponsors or anything like that. We really are supported by you guys each and every week. That's how we certainly grow around here. So if you want to help us out monetarily, whatever you can go ahead and donate, man. Trust me, it definitely helps. Whether that gets us out to future conventions, whether that allows us to add more to the production value, brand new equipment. We do definitely have some big plans over the past month to go ahead and do some things for you guys here. So definitely let us know. We actually are planning on I would really like to go ahead and get some shirts designed so we can go ahead and get some merchandise rolling out here for you guys if you guys want t-shirts and whatever the case may be. So definitely let us know. But thank you so much, Blossom. She says that picture, how in Richie Foley's name did they do that? I don't know, man. I don't know who the artist is, but it's absolutely gorgeous.
Mhm.
Um, all right. But
Also,
yeah,
he chose a photo with blood on the glove, which makes me think that the series might. When he says like he compared it to True Detective, it makes me think that the series might actually have a TVMA rating, which would be pretty cool.
that would be pretty cool. I wonder like what the mystery is surrounding this. If anything, he did mention when he rolled out the Gods and Monsters. Not only did he mention a True Detective vibe, but he said that the story that takes place in the Lantern series is going to be very much a main focus as far as like really the trajectory of where his really first big kind of story arc is going. So Lanterns has a lot relying on it for sure.
You know what I think they're building up to personally? I think they're building up to a Justice League New Frontier. I think that would be kind of an interesting way to open up a new DC universe and have that be like the
Mm.
Justice League movie that starts it out. You got plenty of trails for different characters to follow that can all lead to the same thing, like with what was it called, like Dinosaur Island or something like that. And then you also have the cult side of things, so you have so many different like aspects of it that you could have the heroes investigating like individually, and then when it all leads to like the one thing in the very end, then that could be what leads to Justice League New Frontier. I have no idea if that's how they're going to go about it, but I think that is like one way they can do it.
And look, the way that James Gunn's mind works, like it would not surprise me. I mean, considering all the comic book series that he is sort of adapting or kind of relying on, it seems like he really enjoys kind of diving into that type of stuff and then really expanding upon it. And if you need any sort of anything to kind of pull from, I think that'd be really cool to kind of see if he can put his own twist on it. Marcelino says Justice League New Frontier has been a rumor for about a year, especially since one of the chapters in comic is titled Gods and Monsters.
I didn't know that.
So maybe again, maybe that's him pulling from something. We have no idea. But yeah, guys, let us know what you guys thought about some of the honorable mention topics. We got 16 people watching us currently over on Twitter, 9 over on our YouTube page. Guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, retweet, share these videos. Let us know that you're watching us live right now. We got one person watching us over on Twitch. What's up, Twitcher? Good to see you, man. Whoever's over there, appreciate you. Chime in sometime. But yeah, guys, feel free. If you're watching us live, feel free to let your thoughts be known in the comment section box below. We definitely want to hear some of your thoughts. At the end of the day, these are just simply our A+ opinions, but we always want to know yours. We love live discussion with you guys, so let us know. All right, Stuart. I think it's time to get into our main topics. Oh, you know what? Before we do, friendly reminder. Appreciate you doing this. Where'd it go? Damn it. I just saw it in the comments. Enrique with the friendly reminder. Star Wars Day is coming. Just days away, y'all. Star Wars Day. I'm a big Star Wars head, so I got to celebrate. May the 4th be with you is right around the corner next weekend. Believe it or not, May 3rd, that Friday, the re-release of The Phantom Menace, the 25th anniversary in theaters for 3 days. I got my tickets May 3rd at 7 p.m. to go ahead and check out the film once again. They're also going to be dropping a sneak peek at The Acolyte. So if anything, expect that weekend from me at least to give you my thoughts on the sneak peek at The Acolyte. I'll be doing a video on that, and I may even be doing a review for The Phantom Menace for you guys. I'm going to see if I can get some collaborators with me to go ahead and record a video review. If you happen to check it out, Stuart, once again this weekend, let me know, man. We'd love to have you on board for a review with me.
Definitely. I am always down to talk about Star Wars.
And Star Wars Tales of the Empire is releasing also on Disney Plus May 4th. It's probably going to be a very brief 6-episode arc. I don't know. We probably will definitely review that around here. If not myself, maybe I can get Stuart to do a quick 6-episode review for Tales of the Empire. Maybe as a quick series review.
Definitely. And yes, we got an answer to that one question that we couldn't answer before about God, I already forgot her name, but Ahsoka's friend, the one that ends up betraying her.
Barriss Offee.
Yeah, Barriss. So we finally get to see what happens to her after the events of the Clone Wars, the answers that fans have been demanding for. It's finally coming.
Yeah, Marcelino's been asking this shit for years, bro. Like, I feel like in the comments, he's like, "Where's Barriss? Where's Barriss?" I'm like, bro, I have no idea, man. Maybe Dave is holding it off. I think when we answered his question one time in the live viewer question, I think I said either Dave Filoni completely forgot about it and is moving on to something else, or for all we know, he may drop her in Tales of the Jedi series or something like that. And boom, we're just predicting the future out here, man. I'm gonna have to try and find that.
No, I think the more logical explanation is that Dave Filoni secretly watches our show, and within that like less than a month period, he was able to reanimate and rebrand Tales of the Jedi into Tales of the Empire just to appease to us specifically. I think that answer is a lot more logical.
Yeah, you might be right. You might be right. They're like, Hero Report needs this update. Enrique says, so when's the release date for The Acolyte? I believe it's June 4th, if I'm not mistaken. June 4th, I believe, is The Acolyte release date. And Sam says, I hope Star Wars will talk about Skeleton Crew. Yeah, I expect some big Star Wars announcements that weekend also. Probably a release date for the Skeleton Crew, I think would be pretty cool. Or maybe a trailer. I think that'd be pretty
Yeah.
badass too. So yeah, a lot
Or
of things to
both.
look forward to. Or both, yeah. All right, y'all. You guys ready to get into some main topics with us today?
Always.
Let's do it, man. We're going to start in our MCU bag as we got some Spider-Man 4 news. As we're very much eagerly awaiting the release of this film. You know, I have actually even seen some production articles about the idea, or this could just simply be rumor that they want to maybe get in front of cameras by the end of this year. I do kind of question how far along they are with pre-production for this film. Like, is there even a script? I feel like we've heard a lot of rumors about who's attached to this film. I mean, we've heard people being attached and then no, you know, moving on to other things, sort of thing. So I feel like we're still very much up in the air in regards to Spider-Man 4. But this week, it looks like Tom Holland had the opportunity to kind of sit down and discuss really what the creative process is like now for Spider-Man 4. And I thought this was pretty telling, at least in regards to just seeing how much Marvel Studios has come to trust them over the years. Because if you guys recall, Tom Holland had some pretty loose lips, right? Loose lips sink ships in regards to like dropping, you know, key pieces of information from some of his MCU stuff, just spoiling the hell out of some of these movies and whatnot, to the point of like them having to keep pieces of scripts and whatnot from him. But times have definitely changed, and it seems as though Tom Holland is now more involved more than ever. So let's go ahead and dive into this, Stuart, because I thought this is a pretty interesting article and maybe gives us a little bit more insight in regards to where we're at with Spider-Man 4. So this comes to us from Deadline. Tom Holland talks Spider-Man and plans for the fourth movie. This is the first time I've been a part of the creative so early. So they're like, all right, we trust you now, Tom. Let's go ahead and get into this. It says the ancient Scottish town of St. Andrews was hit with a heavy bout of Spidey fever this past weekend as the third annual Sands International Film Festival opened, pulling in an electric set of films, filmmakers, and speakers alongside one popular guest of honor, and that would be Spider-Man actor Tom Holland. Let's see. It looks like it was on a pristine golfing green where Tom linked up with Deadline to discuss his career so far and plans for future projects, including whether he will return for a fourth Spider-Man movie. He says, the simple answer is that I'll always want to do Spider-Man films, is what Tom Holland said. I owe my life and career to Spider-Man. So the simple answer is yes. I'll always want to do more. He says the more complicated answer, Tom added, is how he and the Spider-Man team approach any follow-up to Spider-Man No Way Home, the third title in his webbed saga, without retreading past themes. Tom Holland says, we have the best in the business working toward whatever the story might be. But until we've cracked it, we have a legacy to protect. The third movie was so special in so many ways that we need to make sure we do the right thing. He added also, this is the first time in this process that I've been a part of the creative so early. It's just a process where I'm watching and learning. It's just a really fun stage for me. Like I said, everyone wants it to happen, but we want to make sure we're not overdoing the same thing. You know, and I will say, hold on. It says Holland was last seen on screen in the Apple miniseries The Crowded Room. The Spider-Man actor told us he is now engaged in the developmental of several burgeoning projects. He says we're figuring it out. We're at the stage where it's post-strike, so we're waiting for those scripts to come in. Okay, so this was kind of in the past when he was referring to it, but the recent comments that we just talked about was this past weekend. So you know, I do find this interesting, Stuart, in a couple senses here. One, you know, he does talk about the idea of like we kind of want to crack the script open, and so it does make me wonder, like, is the script completed? Are they still working on it? Do they not have sort of a finalized script that they are officially ready to lock down and then begin pre-production on, sort of thing? Or is this his way of just kind of, not giving too much away? Has Tom Holland learned from his ways of not giving away too much information that the MCU probably doesn't want him to? But I also find it interesting when he mentions the idea, like, we don't want to do the same thing over again. And there is a part of me that thinks that I don't want to say it's a little bit of a shot towards Sony Pictures, because I do think there were several rumors over the past couple of weeks and months that Sony really wanted to do another multiverse sort of film. That they had a lot of success with No Way Home, and they were thinking about trying to bring Tobey Maguire and Andrew back, and whatever the case may be. And they really wanted to do that. But we've also heard on the Marvel Studios side that they wanted to be a little bit more grounded. Once again, taking them back sort of to the neighborhood, if you will. And so, the idea of him expressing, we don't want to do the same thing over again. No Way Home was extremely special in its own right, and we have a legacy to protect. To me, that makes me think that maybe we aren't going to get sort of that multiverse sort of storyline again. And I personally would be completely okay with that if that's what he's kind of hinting towards. Because look, I know a lot of people want our original Spider-Man back, Toby and Andrew, but for me personally, I feel like their stories got wrapped up beautifully. And I don't think that they need to be involved in another Tom Holland movie, where I think there's still so many great Spider-Man characters that certainly deserve the opportunity to kind of be brought to the screen, instead of rehashing and bringing back some of these characters that we've seen. Like, if they want to do something for Toby and Andrew, that's fine. Let them do their own projects. But I also do think the multiverse saga, you've already done a multiverse story in Spider-Man. We don't need a second movie in that regard. So I do think there is something important to remembering who Spider-Man is and sticking to that story. And, look, I want to see a Black Cat. If that's something that ever happens, give me a Felicia Hardy. I've been pushing for Sydney Sweeney to be a Black Cat for like the longest now. There've been times of even thinking about maybe the Kingpin being in this film. Hell, I would even love John Bernthal to come back as the Punisher, right? Like, there's a classic Amazing Spider-Man cover where the Punisher is hunting down Spider-Man or whatever, has him right in his scope. You know what I mean? I think there's just so many great Spider-Man stories to be told, and characters that have yet had the opportunity to be brought to the big screen, that would really love the opportunity to finally see. And so I hope that he's approaching this correctly. It sounds like he's approaching this very much correctly. And I'm glad that they're certainly getting him involved. But Stuart, you hear some of these things that he's talking about in regards to the article. What really stands out to you? And what are some of your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, he says he says everything that I want to hear, because of the rumors that we get with Sony really wanting to make this a multiversal type movie, but Marvel wanting to kind of make this more grounded, which is really what they hinted at. At least it's the direction that they hinted at in the previous movie. But I do think that Tom Holland, what he said could mean one of two things. I think it could either mean, one, yes, that's a shot at Sony. We don't want to do the story that Sony's trying to push. We want to do our own, unique story, something new. Or it could be that Sony has already won that battle. They're already doing another multiversal film. And his idea is, if we're going to do it, we want to do it differently. We don't want it to come off as being exactly like the previous movie. So I think it could be one of those two things. Personally, I hope it's the first one. I really hope it's because, I hope it's because they just don't want to do a multiverse movie. They want to do Marvel's plan, which is to try to make it like grounded. I'm hoping that's what that quote means, but it could technically mean one or the other. It is cool that he's now part of the creative process. I think that because of how much he really loves this role, I think that's actually a very wise move on. I don't know if that was Sony's decision or Disney's decision, but regardless, I think that's a wise move. And Yes, he had very loose lips in the beginning, but we got to give him credit. He never once mentioned anything about Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield in No Way Home. The only reason people found out about it was through other leaks that were going on at the time. But we did not hear about it through Tom Holland. So to me, that is kind of an accomplishment when you can work with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield and keep your mouth shut about that. I would not be able to do that.
Yeah, you know who was able to do that though also? Andrew Garfield. The man won an award for Best Liar of the Year for sure, keeping that as close to his vest as possible. And it was a fantastic moment, man. It was a fantastic moment watching No Way Home. Probably up there with one of the best cinematic moments in history, if I could be quite frank. And I'm not using that as hyperbole. It gave me chills to see all three of those Spider-Man certainly together. But you also bring up the idea that him being so invested in this character, I think, is really important too, because one, this is going to be the first Spider-Man that we've had that will get a fourth film.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one that we're actually on a journey with here now. Like we started with him in high school. The man is graduated and gone on to establish a sort of a life of his own, or at least that's what the end of No Way Home is kind of teasing. Like this is going to be sort of the next step in his life. And the fact that we've been attached to Tom Holland as Peter Parker, I think is wonders, and when he says things like, I owe so much to this character, I'll play this guy as long as they certainly will have me. I think this is going to just add to the legacy of his role as Spider-Man and really solidifying himself as one of the best Spider-Man that we've ever had. I mean, especially if, who knows where they can kind of take this, right? College years. Maybe he goes on and eventually creates like his Parker Tech industry that he does in the comic books, right? Like, I mean, if we end up getting another trilogy out of Tom Holland, it's got to supplant him as like the Spider-Man. And I just think if they continue to do right by Tom Holland and this character, and Marvel and Sony can beautifully work together as they have been, man, I would love to see his character sort of grow even more. So I'm really excited that Tom Holland wants to kind of stick around, because his Spider-Man movies have been making buku money at the box office. People clearly love this guy. If he doesn't want to go anywhere, stick with him. And he seems like he's got a pulse on what the fans want and what he really wants for Spider-Man. So I'm completely down with it.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Nathan in the chat, he does say, look, I wasn't a fan of Tom Holland as Spider-Man until No Way Home, so I hope what he wants to do can live up to that. And I will say, look, I am okay if a film like Spider-Man 4 takes a little bit of a step back from No Way Home, because I do think like No Way Home was like the crescendo. I mean, when you have yourself on screen with two of the other Spider-Men, it's like, for me, I don't want to say that's like a where do you go from here, but the idea of like topping that in your next film is definitely going to be hard. But I think there is something to the idea of like maybe going smaller and a little bit more intimate and focusing more on just Peter and his life, and introducing us to brand new characters. Because it does feel like, if anything, Spider-Man 4 could potentially be sort of like a fresh start, with it being the beginning of a possible new trilogy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they basically kind of set it up to be, I don't want to say rebooted entirely, but they definitely set it up so we have like, a whole new status quo going into the next Spider-Man movie. He's no longer got the support of the Avengers, as far as we can see. Like, his tech isn't what it used to be. He doesn't have financial support. Very much. He's basically, he's very similar to Spider-Man, where Spider-Man was from, the comic books after he finished high school.
Yeah, I think it's perfect to just explore his story even more. We got Sam. Sam, what's up, Sam? He says, I hope Sinister Six is in Spider-Man 4. If he's not in Spider-Man 4, I would love a build up to a Spider-Man to a Sinister Six at some point. I mean, we've been teased for this for like the longest time, way back in the Amazing Spider-Man series. We almost got there with No Way Home a little bit, but
got to 5. They couldn't spare just one more.
But who knows? Maybe that was as close as we're gonna get. He says Vulture, Morbius, oh man, Venom, Madam Web, Craven the Hunter, and Hobgoblin. I mean, Who knows, man? Who really knows? He says Hobgoblin is Ned Leeds.
See, I actually thought that's what they were going to do in No Way Home. I thought there was going to be a twist where the final villain was going to be the Hobgoblin, and it was going to be played by the actor that plays Ned. But he was gonna, because like the actor has lost like a lot of weight recently. I thought it was going to be for that specific role, so we would see him like looking skinnier and as the Hobgoblin.
I think it's still going to happen, Stu.
You do?
Yeah, I think so. I think prediction right here. Somebody clock this. 12:51 p.m. Central Time, April 28th. Hobgoblin will be the main villain in Spider-Man 5. Just letting y'all know right now.
All right.
Ned Leeds. His life is completely different now that he does not know a Peter Parker. His life has gone down a completely different path. He's got some built up resentment. He doesn't have that best bud in his life. Things have gone tragically for Ned after he forgot about Peter Parker. I think that could be a possible direction that they go.
Mm-hmm. I'd be down for that.
Blossom says Black Cat. A lot of guys had a crush on her. That's why I'm saying Sydney Sweeney, man. Sydney Sweeney. Let's just wipe away Madam Web. Let's just forget that whole entire movie ever existed.
Was this Sydney Sweeney who like supposedly got tricked into thinking that Madam Web was an MCU
They
movie?
all did. They all did. They all did. Nathan Moore says, I already brought that one up. Marcelino says, if we do hopefully get a street level story, which storylines should they adapt? Because people are theorizing they'll adapt Devil's Reign, where Kingpin outlaws street level heroes. You know what? I'm trying to think of some street level Spider-Man stories. I don't know. I don't have anything off the top of my head though.
There was one from the Spider-Man cartoon that I always loved, and it would be a great excuse to bring in the Punisher. But it was when Spider-Man first ended up experiencing the mutation where he ended up growing
6 arms.
6 arms. Yeah. And so the Punisher was going after him because like Peter Parker wasn't making any public appearances. And so the Punisher thought that Spider-Man killed Peter Parker. I think that would be kind of a fun direction they could go in if they wanted to bring in the Punisher.
That'd be pretty cool. I really want to see John Bernthal in a Spider-Man movie. If they did it, if they got Matt Murdock in there, I definitely need Frank Castle for sure.
Yeah.
Nathan Moore clarifies. He says, "I'm really talking about him being tougher. That's why I liked him. I liked him like the last film. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah. The one line I never would have expected to hear from a Tom Holland Spider-Man was when he's like, so I could kill you myself. I'm like, oh.
Ooh, yeah. He definitely got a little bit more edge to him for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Marcelino says a lot of people forget that Scorpion appeared in Homecoming, but without a suit in the post-credit scene. He swears revenge on Spider-Man and yet hasn't appeared to be mentioned ever since. That would be pretty cool. I would be completely on board with a Scorpion on the big screen. Give me Scorpion. Definitely give me Hobgoblin. I think that would be pretty neat. I'm trying to think of like another villain that hasn't been brought to life that I would like to see on the big screen. For if they're looking for like a mob level or street level, I wouldn't mind like a Hammerhead and his gang. I think that would be pretty cool. I'm trying to think of some other villains that I would love to see get a chance. The Scorpion's a great callback.
I don't remember the name of it'll come to me later.
But let us know what you guys think, man. What villains from Spider-Man have not had the opportunity to be used that you certainly would like to see? And is the idea of a multiverse story, again, something that you would like to see? Or do you want them to go more street level, maybe a combination of the two, whatever the case may be? Definitely go ahead and let us know. Sam says Jack-o'-lantern or even Hydro Man. That'd be pretty. I think we sort of got a Hydro Man in Spider-Man 2 with the elemental water creature sort of thing. I kind of like that, and the lava one. I kind of looked at those as like Hydro Man and Molten Man, but maybe I'm tripping in that regards.
The MCU version of them are just simulations.
Alistair Smythe, since he's extremely different from normal villains, and seeing the Spider Slayers in action, I could see that being a possibility for sure. Maybe more of a tech sort of villain. Yeah, definitely be up for interpretation for sure on the big screen.
Mhm.
But yeah, guys, let us know your thoughts on Tom Holland discussing Spider-Man 4 in the comment section box below. All right, Stuart. With that out of the way, real quick, look, we got 17 people watching us over on Twitter, 12, baby, and our YouTube channel. We also got one over on Twitch as well. Look, guys, hit that like button. I hope we got like 12 likes already so far over on YouTube. But feel free to subscribe, share these videos, y'all. Let everybody know we are currently live. We got some other great topics that we're gonna get into for you guys. And next up, believe it or not, y'all, it's Wolverine and asshole. I mean, Deadpool and Wolverine, baby. We're gonna stick it to the the MCU talk for you guys today. As early this week, we wind up getting ourselves a brand new trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine set to go ahead and drop this summer for you guys. They did in fact release brand new posters as well, get an opportunity for both characters to kind of get the lead here. I love both these posters personally, Stuart. If anything, I probably would have this one on my wall. I know it's unfair since it is a Deadpool 3 sort of film, but I do love the just the claws with Deadpool's reflection in them. But not only did we get ourselves brand new posters, but we did get ourselves a brand new trailer. I did go ahead and do a live. I actually did a live reaction to this. If you guys missed it, it is currently up on the YouTube channel as well. Let me see. Do I have the thumbnail for it as well? Yeah, I believe I have the thumbnail for it. If you guys haven't checked it out, go ahead and check it out, man. It's my live reaction. I also go ahead and give a brief review at the end as well. And I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. But I have not had the opportunity to talk with you, Stuart, about the Deadpool and the Wolverine trailer review. And I would really love to know your thoughts on it, man. Yeah, I'll talk a little bit more about it, but let me know what you thought.
I thought it looked pretty lame. I'm totally kidding. No, I absolutely loved everything about it. That showed us so it gave us like a bigger idea of what the plot was going to be. I love that we got to see a little bit of a lot actually of Hugh Jackman in this, and a little bit of the chemistry the two of them are going to have. And it's the exact chemistry I would have done if I was writing this movie, which is they annoy the crap out of each other, especially Deadpool annoying Wolverine. That is how a Deadpool and Wolverine buddy cop like type of movie should be done. I love the fact that because they both heal instantly, if one of them is pissed at the other, they can just straight up stab each other. And it's not really going to be any hard feelings because it'll heal right afterwards. I love that. I love that you can have that between the two of them. I'm waiting for a moment where like Wolverine stabs Deadpool and Deadpool's like, how'd you know I had super healing? And Wolverine's like, you have super healing? I'm waiting for a moment like that. Yeah, I love all the small Easter eggs that we've gotten. I like how most of the small Easter eggs that we see in the trailer are related to the MCU, except for that one there, which was Dogpool. That one I thought was super adorable. We got Dogpool from the comic books. And then the final shot, where we get like a big lineup of some of the cameos we might be seeing in this movie. I like how we can make out a couple of them, but not the whole roster. And I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that some of the figures that we see there are probably not even like in the movie. Instead, they're just there to cover up who the actual like cameos that might be there.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure, kind of like how we got with Spider-Man No Way Home,
Yeah.
how they took out Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, but they still left in Lizard Man getting punched. I always thought that was hilarious. So yeah, like everything looks awesome about this movie. Oh yeah, the villain. Thank you for bringing that up. I love who we have as the villain. I am curious on how Deadpool and Wolverine are going to be able to take her on, especially because not only are her powers like dangerous on their own, but it looks like if you take the first trailer, where it looks like we have that beast that lives in that kind of void world where all the things that get erased by the TVA go to, it looks like she's controlling that thing. And if she's controlling that on top of her already dangerous powers, oh boy, I'm excited to see how Wolverine and Deadpool tackle this one. Yeah, everything is awesome about this trailer. I really hope the movie lives up to the hype.
Yeah, I think you might be onto something in regards to her being able to control sort of that monster in the void. For those of you who don't know, this is in fact Cassandra Nova. She's a very popular and powerful X-Men villain. In the comics, I believe she is in fact a twin sister to Charles Xavier. So I definitely expect them to very much highly tease that in here. I mean, you get to see some of her psychic sort of kinetic abilities in the trailer already, with her like being able to manipulate Wolverine's arms and claws and, you know, move his body around before he can kind of attack her, sort of thing. So I remember a really gnarly comic book strip panel of Cassandra and Xavier in their womb as babies, and she's literally trying to strangle this man with the umbilical cord, bro. Like, she was crazy upon birth. And so you immediately know what their relationship is sort of like. So when you say she's extremely powerful, I mean, I'm talking Professor X level sort of abilities. So it will make it fascinating to see how they take something like that on.
Yes, definitely. In fact, I think she's actually stronger than Professor Xavier, because if I'm not mistaken, she also has she's also no, is it telepathic when you can physically move things as well with your mind?
Telekinesis.
Telekinesis, yeah. I think she has that as well, which Charles did not have. So yeah, that's just gonna make her even more OP when they're fighting her in the final battle.
Who do you one of the very last shots that we have here is a portal opening up.
Oh yeah.
Do you have any theories about that? Do you think it's a Doctor Strange? Do you think it's that they created that portal themselves, or is that something that pops up just at the nick of time and they're jumping through in the sense of thinking they're escaping? Any thoughts as to what that portal means?
What I want it to be and what I think it's going to be are very different, because what I want it to be is the Ghost Rider, because we do see Ghost Rider in Agents of Shield able to open portals the exact same way Doctor Strange
Really?
does. Yeah, or not the exact same way, but he uses his
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 chain?
chain whip to create a portal. But the portals, they look exactly like the portals that Doctor Strange and the other sorcerers use. So that's what I want it to be. What I think it'll actually be is probably a TVA agent who just happens to also know sorcery. And he's probably trying to bring them back either to the TVA or to the MCU. I do know that wherever they're going somewhere they do not want to be spoiled. So I would assume it's somewhere really important. Like, so if I had to guess, probably like New York, and possibly even during like a specific battle, because TVA can do space and everything, or can do time and space, so it could even be during like a specific battle during the events of the MCU.
God, I was gonna say, imagine if
Yeah,
they take them back to the invasion of New York.
yeah.
That'd be bananas. This
Seeing
is
like Deadpool and Wolverine taking on Chitauri, that would be amazing.
so in this quick because I want to bring up the comments here also from Sam. You know, you mentioned the idea of like the characters that we get to see briefly teased. He says Lady Deathstroke is there, which you could see she's at the very end of the the uh the stage that comes down. He also mentions Toad is there, which I think he's like the right in the middle of the group on the far left. Azazel is there. He's on the other side of the ramp in red from was he in First Class? Have we
Yeah,
seen? Yeah, First Class. They mentioned Pyro. Pyro's possibly in there, and he also mentions Juggernaut.
I don't see
I don't
Juggernaut.
see Juggernaut though, unless that's him all the way in the far right hand side. Just not in his getup. I don't really see Juggernaut in there, but this is a pretty small image, so it's hard to kind of see from what I'm looking at here.
Oh my gosh, if it ends up being the Juggernaut from X-Men 3, I would love to see like Deadpool's reaction. Like, okay, here's an idea for what would be like the funniest shot to lead up to that. If you get like kind of a earthquake feeling kind of going on, we see Deadpool's perspective, or we don't see his perspective, we just see his face. He's like, what is that sound? And then suddenly a big shadow kind of appears. Deadpool's like, holy shit. And then we cut to the Juggernaut from X-Men 3, and he's just like, that was so underwhelming.
I would absolutely dig that. They but I will say, look, out of this trailer, while there's a lot of jokes and great Easter eggs in here, I really dig sort of like the emotional story beat that we're gonna get here, where Deadpool is clearly recruiting Wolverine to help sort of save his universe and save the people that he loves. But I also love the perspective of Wolverine in here, that he seems like he's down on his luck, like really, really down on himself in the sense that he has lost the people that he loves. Deadpool references in here like, you've lost your people, or you didn't come through and save, your universe, sort of thing. So this definitely feels like a variant of Logan that we haven't had the opportunity to kind of see before, that's been through some shit, that's maybe lost his world, maybe from the events of like something like a Loki couple of seasons, just worlds kind of, being eaten or taken away, sort of thing. And he maybe not being able to kind of save his world. There's a really great shot here too, where he's kind of dropping to his knees in the field of grass, and you've got these big kind of stone monuments. It does make me wonder if that's like a graveyard of worlds or universes, or like a graveyard of past Wolverines that maybe have like died, and that, or people that he's lost, sort of thing. And it's like a stark reminder and a reality to him of sort of like his failures and why he's sort of down on his luck. Like the idea of Deadpool in the trailer pointing his gun to him, like, I'm going to put a hole in your head, and he just leans against it. His smirk so much is in the sense of like, I dare you to try. It's more like a please get me out of this misery, of the things that I've seen and I've had to kind of put up with, sort of thing. So I do think there's a really heavy element here of these two characters, one trying to save their world, one that's lost their world or countless worlds, and trying to do something to at least save one of them, sort of thing. So I'm really fascinated by it, and I think that would be, if that holds true, I do think that's a really great storyline for them to kind of tackle in here. And I was hearing a rumor too that I don't know how true this is. Again, this is just a rumor, but that like every universe, in order to survive, needs at least like one Wolverine and one Deadpool or something like that. And so maybe that's how the MCU universe survives, by grabbing them two out of the Fox universe and bringing them in. But who knows? But regardless, I think the story beats are very satisfying enough to mix in with the great comedy and great action and great soundtrack that we got, as we got to hear like Madonna, I think a Madonna soundtrack song on here also. But I love this trailer, Stuart. I really did.
Yeah, same here. Um, Hopefully, yeah, with Wolverine's like big reveal. Because one of the things I love about the Deadpool movies is that Deadpool himself is a very silly character, but the movies, while they are comedies, they definitely have a very like kind of serious plot to them. You get like a funny character going through what's kind of a typical superhero plot, and that's what makes it great. So I'm just really hoping, like with Wolverine's story, like they play it up like it's not a comedy. Like they play up his whole story like it is actually something you could see playing out in an X-Men movie. And the thing that makes it a comedy is the fact that Deadpool cracks jokes about his really tragic backstory,
Yeah. Yeah. When he says the line of like, do you want to tell your story, or we're gonna have to wait till like a third act flashback? I totally think we're getting a third act flashback in this movie.
Undoubtedly.
So yeah, I think you might be right. I think it maybe takes the seriousness of an X-Men film, but gives us the humor and that a Deadpool movie certainly brings. And I think there's a reason why they say this isn't necessarily like a Deadpool 3. Like while it is, it feels a little bit different. But I definitely do think there's a really heartfelt story in here that I'm really looking forward to. And man, I think this is going to get this excitement and buzz back for the MCU for some people that might feel like it's gone by the wayside a little bit or struggling at the moment. But I'm super pumped.
One scene that wasn't shown in either trailers but was shown at CinemaCon. Apparently, like when Deadpool gets suited up and he's about to go on his first mission, he stops in front of the camera, brings down the boom microphone, and goes, "Sorry, Fox, I'm going to Disneyland.
Oh no, I love it. I hope it's in the movie. I hope it's in the movie.
Yes.
But yeah, guys, let us know your thoughts. What did you guys think about Deadpool and Wolverine trailer? I thought it was the best. I mean, look, the back-to-back bangers when it comes to trailers. It's continuing to get me more and more excited. This movie can't come soon enough, honestly. So I'm really looking forward to this. But we want to know your thoughts at the end of the day. What did you guys think of this trailer? Let your thoughts be known in the comment section box below.
If there is any pointless flat or pointless cameo, even if it's for like half a second, that I would be totally satisfied with, it's if Ben Affleck was actually able to appear on screen. Like, I don't care how terrible it looks. Like, if he's just there in front of a green screen and they had to force him into the movie for like 2 seconds, I just want to see it just very briefly. That's it.
I do want to see it. I do want to see it. Look, I am hoping that Taylor Swift is in here as Dazzler. Like, I'm
Yes.
truly hoping that she's in here. But yeah, bring me Elektra, bring me Jennifer Garner, bring me Ben Affleck as Daredevil, even if he's like an out of shape Daredevil. I don't care. I want to see him again. Give me a Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider. Like, I want to see all these characters back, and whether it's just a brief cameo, I want to see them surviving somehow in the void somewhere. I think it'd be pretty fun.
Yeah, for a movie like Deadpool and Wolverine, I don't mind cameo porn because as long as the movie focuses really well on Deadpool and Wolverine,
And it
I'm
looks
cool
like it
with
will.
I'm cool with like pointless cameos in this type of a movie.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, guys, let us know your thoughts in the comment section box below. All right, Story, let's go ahead and wrap that one up. And next, let's go ahead and transition from the MCU to the DCU. And while we've teased the idea of Green Lantern's series at the beginning and top of this honorable mention segment, we also have to remember there will be a Green Lantern in an upcoming DCU movie, a small little movie that James Gunn is currently filming titled Superman, as we currently know that Nathan Fillion will in fact be playing the Guy Gardner Green Lantern in that film. Wonderful casting, if you ask me. And I believe there was a story that just recently came out too, Stuart, where Nathan Fillion said he found out that he was going to play Guy Gardner Green Lantern. Check this out, at the premiere party for the Suicide Squad. I don't even know when the Suicide Squad movie came out, but clearly the idea and the formation of the DCU was being planned during that time. I think he mentioned the idea that James Gunn pulled him aside into like a dark corner of the party. It was like looking around to make sure nobody was listening. It was like, hey, I got something for you, and let him know he was going to be playing the Guy Gardner in the DCU. And I thought it was absolutely brilliant. But well, I do think that for a while now, we have been really anticipating a Guy Gardner on the big screen or even the small screen. If you guys recall, there were plans at one point in time for there to be another Green Lantern series in development over at HBO Max before the changing of the guard. I think we were supposed to get like an Alan Scott version, a Guy Gardner version as well. And we were really highly anticipating to find out who was going to be cast. And despite that not coming to fruition, we still will be getting ourselves a Guy Gardner in here. And I love Nathan Fillion personally as an actor. And so for me this week, I thought it was a really great story of him letting us know just what the character certainly means to him. And really just kind of solidifies why I think this is such a great role for him. So, Stuart, let's go ahead and dive into this. This one actually comes to us from Collider.com. It says Superman's Nathan Fillion loves how flawed Green Lantern is. And I love this this image that they put together for him. Real quick, I do want to show some fan art. I think this is from a Deviant Art image. I thought this was actually pretty cool. Very much a younger looking Nathan Fillion here, but they put this incredible image together. Some fan art. I always love showcasing fan art of these actors in their roles, despite the fact that we haven't seen an opportunity to see his costume as of yet. But I thought that was a nice little peek. Some of the things that they kind of envision. Oh yeah, here the article actually does talk about the how he finds out. It says Fillion shared the exciting story of how he landed his role and thoughts on what makes Gunn's project so unique. Fillion recalled the moment during the premiere party of the Suicide Squad. He says, we were actually at the premiere party after Suicide Squad, and he was in a huge crowd of people. We saw each other in the crowd, and I congratulated him. Oh my God, that was amazing. It's so great. He goes, hey, did Peter Safran tell you what we've got for you next? I said, no, he hasn't. He looked around like someone was going to be listening. We were in a throng of people, but he leaned over and he said, "You're going to be Guy Gardner." I think that's so badass. He says, Fillon expressed great admiration for Gunn's unique style and approach to storytelling, which has significantly influenced his perspective on comic book adaptations. He says, in my mind, it just says this guy is just firing on all different cylinders and he's taking things in different directions. And that's what makes his stuff so satisfying and fun to watch. He's got different ideas and they are so worthy, he noted. He also says he recalled an early experiences with comic books, which did not always resonate with him. He says, I used to collect comic books. I had a comic book rack in my room so that that one that you could spin. I remember Guardians of the Galaxy, and I remember that I just couldn't relate to it in any way. Just couldn't get into it for any reason. Spider-Man held something for me. Batman had something that I really liked inside. The X-Men I couldn't get enough, but Guardians, he says, but he goes on to say that movie moved me. Those movies make me feel things and not just crying, but feeling joy and feeling connections and feeling the love. It's about family. It's so much about family. I just think that's what James Gunn does best. He says he's thinking of something else that we're all thinking of. And he just makes it so much better. And he makes the things that matter to us all. And there's more to the story, and we'll go ahead and break this down. But I do want to get your first impressions of this. The idea, Stuart, of what do you think about how his portrayal of what he thinks James Gunn brings to filmmaking, especially when he kind of relates it to his relationship with Guardians of the Galaxy, and really the idea that he thinks that this guy right now is just firing on all different cylinders. What do you take away from that?
I mean, he's totally right. Because he wasn't the only one who, well, like I guess in his case, he had heard of the Guardians of the Galaxy. It didn't connect with him. But I still remember, when the movie came out, no one, except for real comic book readers, even really knew who the Guardians of the Galaxy were. So there was like almost no hype around the movie from its announcement. It wasn't until the trailers came out that like the hype kind of began. And yeah, the other thing he brings up about James Gunn is totally correct, which is that James Gunn knows how to do emotions. He knows how to make you happy and he knows how to make you cry in the exact same movie. So I love everything he's saying about working with James Gunn, the things that we can expect. I also love his excitement for being able to play a character like Guy Gardner. I love the fact that he brings up that Guy Gardner is a very flawed character because I don't know if this is like how it happened for sure, but I think it started with him being a character in the comic books that just no one really liked, and rather than trying to change that character to make him more likable, they decided to kind of embrace that within the DC universe itself. And so now within that universe, he's also not the most liked superhero out there. There was even one joke I remember in Young Justice where they were discussing the potential of new members of the Justice League. Someone brings up Guy Gardner, John Stewart and Hal Jordan just in unison just go no. Like always thought that was great. So it sounds like that's the kind of Guy Gardner they're going to be bringing to the big screen. Like his heart might be in the right place, but he doesn't necessarily go about things the correct way, or maybe it's reversed. Maybe he does the right thing for the wrong reasons. Who knows? Regardless, I'm looking forward to seeing like how he does that on the big screen. And it's also really cool because Nathan working with James Gunn in the past has mostly been doing like kind of with the exception of course like his earlier films like Slither, but from Guardians of the Galaxy forward, it's always been like kind of cameo roles. Like he was really just like a cameo in the first two Guardians. He got a speaking role in the third movie, but like it wasn't that big of a role still. It was like bigger than the other two, but still not that big. So with this one, it's cool that like not only does he have a speaking role, but it's also going to be one that's going to have a bigger impact going forward, especially if we are to believe the rumors that he's going to be appearing in the Green Lantern's TV show. So I really love, it seems like James Gunn really knows how to utilize his actors for the right characters and all that. So I can't wait.
Yeah, I think James Gunn is. I will agree with Nathan Fillion in the sense that he is working on all different cylinders, and I would agree with you in the sense that he really knows how to utilize and get the best out of his cast. And I think a perfect example of that is like Dave Bautista. I think he really put Dave Bautista in a fantastic position to look great and win on screen as Drax. And I think also probably helped his career out too, in the sense of really teaching him how to perform and how to embrace these emotions and become an even better actor than what he did. And now look what Dave Bautista is doing, man. I mean, he's doing some amazing things when it comes to film. But I would agree with him too, in the sense of like, and that's just why I've always pushed back, Stuart, in regards to people that have been weary of James Gunn kind of taking over the DCU, and I've never felt at any moment in time that he was a bad choice, based off of just what he was able to do under Kevin Feige, the people that he learned from, how close he was with Feige in regards to building a cinematic universe. I would agree that people didn't know who Guardians of the Galaxy even were, but it became one of their biggest franchises. I mean, the last movie itself did like 700, $800 million. And we're talking about an MCU that's kind of been struggling financially at the box office. But a James Gunn Guardians movie is something that you were able to easily sort of rely on and knew that it was going to be good. And I continue to preach to the heavens to people about Guardians of the Galaxy, the holiday special. Like, if you haven't watched the Christmas holiday special with the Guardians and Kevin Bacon, like, you're really missing out. Like, I literally get emotional each time I watch that show, that holiday special, because I think it's just so incredibly well done. And James Gunn just has a brilliant way of creating characters, putting them in unique situations to explore them emotionally, and just having some really outside of the box storylines that I think just really resonates with people. And I think he honestly gets it. So I love that Nathan Fillion is giving him that level of praise. But he also goes on to say in the article here, it says Fillion also discussed the broader implications of taking on such a significant role, emphasizing the long-term connection and engagement it promises. For an actor, the fear of being forgotten is always relevant and a potent one, and roles like Green Lantern ensure continued visibility and relevance. He says constantly, the worst thing to happen to someone in a position as an actor is to be forgotten. And people like James Gunn keep doing things that make it impossible for people to forget that we're out here and we're telling stories. He's on an incredible journey, and he keeps turning around and saying to me, come on, let's go. And he's absolutely right. Like you just mentioned, right? The fact that he's been in so many James Gunn movies that, one, he knows how great Nathan Fillion is, but the fact that he's willing to bring people on these journeys and allow them to be successful too, I think is just a great showcase as to who James Gunn is as a person,
Mm-hmm.
And I think we see that too with some directors. Like, they have their people that they really rely on to bring on with them. So I think that's pretty cool. He says, the reality is that people have flaws. Talking about Green Lantern, he says, we all have quirks. We all have vulnerabilities. You can have the most wonderful family, but be like, oh my God, my dad drives me nuts. He's got this one thing. Everybody's got something. And I love to lean into those faults and flaws. It's what makes people real and what allows audiences to relate, because we all know what that is. We all have our own. We witness it in other people. He says Guy Gardner is 90% flawed and doesn't care. That's one of his flaws. I think there's a real freedom to playing that. So for a guy who likes to play flaws and flawed people, Guy Gardner is a gold mine.
It almost sounds like he's kind of similar to Peacemaker in that sense. So I'm curious. Actually, that's taken too much from Peacemaker, because Peacemaker actually does care that he's flawed. So, I'm curious. Like, by the time we see Superman, I almost said Superman Legacy, but it's actually just Superman. By the time we see Superman, who are we going to think is like more who has higher morality between Guy Gardner and Peacemaker?
I absolutely love this this statement from him. I really do. To me, it just means that he totally gets the character. And I feel like we've seen Nathan Fillion certainly play his fair share of flawed characters before. And I think his comedy chops on top of that. I think he could really play a great arrogant asshole that just does not care what people think. I think he can play that character extremely well with great humor. And so the fact that he understands that character, he looks at it as a gold mine, like this is like prime substance for me to really sink my teeth into and kind of bring to the big screen. I think he's going to do a marvelous job as Guy Gardner. And I think for me too, because of the fact that we're coming into a Superman legacy world that is already established, it makes sense to me in the sense that they have a little bit of an older Guy Gardner here. Like I always feel like Guy Gardner, even if we watch him in 2023, is going to be like that guy that's still trapped in like the 1990s, or the early 2000s. Just very much that like don't care kind of mentality. Doesn't really have that political correctness about him. That really showcases his sort of like his flawed attributes, and I think he's going to really bring that to the big screen fantastically well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think so far in regards to Nathan Fillion playing Guy Gardner. Now that you've got an opportunity to kind of hear some of his quotes, how he personally views Guy Gardner, do you think he's got like the right mindset to go ahead and tackle this character? Do you think he's going to do a fair job at bringing him to the big screen? I personally am kind of curious how much time we're going to spend with him in this movie. But I think he can nail it, though. I'm looking forward to it. But let me know what you guys think. Let's see here some comments. Sam says, did you know that James Gunn was a fan of Kamen Rider? Yes, he has mentioned it several times now.
I always thought like if they ever want to bring Kamen Rider back to the States, R-rated gritty reboot directed by James Gunn would be perfect.
Yeah, he probably would be open for that if he wasn't so busy with the DCU right now.
Yeah.
Another honorable mention, or not honorable mention, another super chat from Blossom. Man, Blossom, I hope you're saving some money for your groceries, girl. But thank you so much. We really do appreciate you coming through each and every week, man. Deadpool, that vulgar dude. Jeez, Angela. She has all these great lines. What the heck were those dudes from Marvel drinking? Man, a lot of people have been asking for Deadpool to be pulled into the MCU for quite some time. Very vulgar, but it seems as though Disney is definitely embracing sort of the more mature themes instead of just necessarily always being kind of family friendly. So I would, if anything, I would assume this movie is definitely going to be rated R for sure.
Oh yeah. That said, though, I am looking forward to seeing Deadpool appear in like PG-13 movies because I'm sure he'll be in Secret Wars. So I would love to see him not being allowed to swear and actually break the fourth wall and be like, "Damn you, Kevin, for not letting me drop my F-bombs."
And I will even say this, since you brought up Secret Wars, I do think that this is Sean Levy's application to directing Secret Wars. One, I think there's a hint in the first official trailer where we see Deadpool laying on the ground at the very end, and there's like a Secret Wars comic book that's just kind of fluttering in the wind a little bit in that final shot. I don't know if Sean Levy already knew he was set to direct Secret Wars, or if he was just putting a little Easter egg in there. But I really do think that this is Sean Levy's resume for possibly directing a future Avengers film. So we'll see.
That would be badass.
Let me see. Sam talking about the DCU. I hope Lobo film Jason Momoa might come out sooner, but still no news yet. Yeah, he still haven't heard if Jason Momoa was going to be playing Lobo. He's definitely teased about it though, for sure.
I think like his the perfect like start for him would be if he had a cameo in Superman.
That would be pretty cool. There was a recent Superman animated film. I can't remember if it was titled The Man of Tomorrow. I believe when they rebooted the animated series or the animated series of films, and Lobo was one of the main characters in there. Kind of taking on a young Superman, working at the Daily Planet, almost like a setup for what James Gunn might be tackling. So we'll see if he pops up in Superman Legacy for sure. All right, y'all. With that out of the way, let's move on to our next topic, Stuart. As we're going to move into television news here a little bit for you guys. Maybe I'll put these next two stories together since it's more TV streaming. But One Piece, the Netflix series, is currently back in the news. We do know that we are in fact going to be getting ourselves a second season from One Piece, that it has been doing amazingly well over on Netflix. Probably one of the better sort of anime or animes adapted to sort of live action as of late. And a lot of people are very much highly anticipating the return for season 2. And it seems as though Netflix is bringing on board a brand new showrunner, not replacing anybody, but bringing on an additional showrunner for this upcoming season. So it sounds as though when it comes to One Piece season 2, bigger and better, Stuart. It looks like they're really kind of putting all their eggs in this particular season. But let's go ahead and see exactly who is joining this brand new season. This comes to us from Deadline.com. One Piece, it says Joe Trax joins Matt Owens as season 2 showrunner. Who exactly is Joe? Let's find out who Joe is. Percy Jackson's and the Olympians co-executive producer Joe Trax has been confirmed as writer, along with executive producer and co-showrunner on the upcoming second season of Netflix's breakout hit One Piece. On the live action adaptation of Oda's beloved manga, he is working alongside returning season 1 writer, executive producer, and co-showrunner Matt Owens. It says Steve Maeda, who developed the series with Owens and served as season's 1 co-showrunner, remains at least as executive producer. Filming on season 2 is expected to start in June for a 2025 premiere. So filming is going to be beginning here in about 2 months. It says this marks the return to Netflix for Trax, who served as writer-producer on the streamer's A Series of Unfortunate Events based on the books of the same name. And as a co-creator and executive producer on Dash and Lily based on YA books. In his statement to Deadline about joining One Piece, Trax referenced his recent string of literary adaptions and references Straw Hat Pirates Season 2 destination as teased in the Season 1 finale. This is what Trax said. He says, I've been lucky to work on big adaptions on several beloved series, and they don't come bigger or more beloved than One Piece. I'm a huge fan of Oda-san's incredible imagination, and I was blown away by what the live action team created in season 1. So it's a dream and a joy to come aboard the Going Merry as it enters the grand line for an even more giant season 2. It says Owens kept with the nautical theme in his statement about Trax joining the show. He says, Joe has brought on a wealth of enthusiasm and experience into our second season that will help take One Piece to new heights. We're incredibly lucky to have him as a co-captain on this ship. The best crew on the seas grows larger. And if I could be honest with you, Stuart, I think this is a really, really smart pickup for One Piece here. If anything, look, I'm not gonna lie, I have not had the opportunity to finish. One, I haven't finished One Piece yet. Two, I still haven't finished Percy Jackson and the Olympians. But from what I have seen so far of Percy Jackson and the Olympians, I've been hella impressed, man. I really have been. I think people that are fans of the book of Percy Jackson, I think you would love the adaptation so far. I've been hearing a lot of people talk about pretty much how true it is to the books that they've gotten so far. And it's really allowed the series as a whole to kind of dive deeper into the books and a little bit more detailed. And it helps that I think Joe Trax has worked with the creator of Percy Jackson and the Olympians to really fully flesh out the vision that he's had for these books the whole time and kind of bring him to the big screen. So if you ask me, I think Trax has certainly proven himself more than worthy to jump on board another adaptation here in One Piece. And if he's been able to take a franchise like Percy Jackson that some probably thought was relatively dead after the movies, and have a successful run in a season 1 of Percy Jackson and the Olympians. I think the fact that Netflix was able to go ahead and pick him up and bring him on board this series, I think is a no-brainer for me. And I think as the current showrunner mentions, that him being added has just really propelled what season 2 of One Piece could possibly be. And I think when he even references the creator of One Piece as Oda-san, like for me, it shows that he knows his work. He highly respects him. And I think his imagination and what he's been capable of doing before is really just going to go ahead and be wonders and working aside along another creator that's had the opportunity to bring his vision to the big screen. So I think this is a win-win. I think we already had a great crew on board for season 1. And personally, Stuart, I think it's honestly just gotten that much better personally. But I would love to know what your thoughts are on his addition to the team.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen both Series of Unfortunate Events and Percy Jackson. Absolutely loved both of those shows. So him coming on to One Piece, a show that's already doing a pretty good job on its own, definitely seems like a win. I do love the fact that he does seem to be a fan of the source material. I always think that definitely helps when you have a showrunner that really knows what they're doing it with that. And the fact that he's worked with creators of the source material before when it came to both, I think he worked with Lemony Snicket on a Series of Unfortunate Events, but I could be wrong about that one. But he definitely worked with the author for Percy Jackson with the TV show. That one is confirmed. So to see him doing the same thing again, working on a new TV show, a live action adaptation of a popular, book series, or in this case, manga series, but being able to work with the author as well while doing that. Yeah, I think this is like all the pieces are there. They have what it takes to make a really solid season 2. Definitely.
Yeah, I agree. What did you think of Series of Unfortunate Events? Did you like that series?
Oh yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think that like at one point the show started to feel very repetitive because like it was literally they're just kind of the same exact format all the time. They go to a new family. The family turns out to not be what it seems. They have to deal with I forgot the guy's name, but Neil Patrick Harris's character, and everything kind of resets in the end. They get sent to a new family, and it's like that pattern when it's like the course of when you're binging a show can kind of feel repetitive. But other than that, I thought it was really cool. Very visually looked really good, and I thought the kids in it did a great job. And then of course Neil Patrick Harris is always fun to watch.
Yeah, I remember the movies. I don't think I've ever checked out the series yet on Netflix. So yeah, learning that he was a part of the Netflix series too was pretty eye-opening. But yeah, it definitely seems like we agree. The idea that he's worked with these creators before and adapting, and now jumping on board with another creator and adapting, and managing to make 2 of those previous adaptations quite successful, I think is really great news for One Piece, certainly going forward. I will say this, and I'm not trying to bust on The Last Airbender, because maybe seasons 2 and 3 would be great, but we literally just heard like the writer of seasons 1 is like leaving The Last Airbender, and now they're bringing in like executive producers to do the writing for seasons 2 and 3, and I'm just like, I feel like it's going backwards in quality, if you ask me, whereas One Piece is really hitting on all cylinders and picking up really great talent right now. So great things, I think, for season 2. Marceline says the Percy Jackson show is so good. I recommend finishing that first before going to One Piece. Noted. The Percy Jackson show was so good, it inspired me to read the books, which I still have yet to read. So I think that's, yeah, man, I think that's saying something, right? When it can motivate you to actually pick up the books. That's what Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings did for me. Was that I just thought they were so good and inspired me to pick up and actually read the trilogy itself. So I think that's a great tell of a great showrunner and writer also.
Yeah, and everything I've been hearing from people who have read the books, they're saying that this was definitely a very faithful adaptation. The changes made from the books are made because it just wouldn't, story wise, it wouldn't make much sense. Like as a TV show, it just wouldn't have worked. So it's the necessary type of changes that they make.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, guys, let us know your thoughts. One Piece gains a new co-showrunner, Joe Trax, formerly known working on Percy Jackson and the Olympians. What are your thoughts on some of the comments and the idea of him being brought on board? Again, these are just simply our A+ opinions. We always want to know yours, so let your thoughts be known in the comment section box below.
Now, is he related to Bolivar Trask? Because if that's the case, I don't know how I feel about supporting someone who's anti-mutant,
Sam says Percy Jackson was a brilliant TV show, then film. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about that, man. And speaking of X-Men 97, real quick on a side note, we are set to drop episode 6 and 7 review this week before episode 8 drops. Indy's definitely been having a lot of things going on right now, so he has not been able to review the show. I do expect him back for the last 3 episodes of the season, reviews for 8, 9, and 10. If anything, I'm probably going to go ahead and pick it up for episodes 6 and 7. So it's probably going to be one video that drops that will do a review quickly for both episodes. So the X-Men 97 episode 6 and 7 review will be here within the next couple of days. Just to let people know.
Awesome.
Real quick before we move on to our next topic, 20 people watching us live over on Twitter. We got 12 over in the YouTube channel, still 1 hanging on strong over on Twitch, man. Guys, I hope we have 12 likes. I hope we have 12 likes in this YouTube channel right now. Hit that like button if you haven't yet. If you're on Twitter watching this, man, repost this. Let people know we are live right now, baby. We got a couple more topics before we get into live viewer questions. We want everybody watching us today, so go ahead and certainly let them know. And as I say that, we lose a viewer on YouTube. Thanks. Thanks. But yeah, guys, let us know your thoughts on some of these topics this week. Stuart, let's go ahead and move into our next one, man. As we're going to move into, you know what? I was going to move into the horror genre, but since we are talking about television series, let's stick with TV briefly here.
Yes.
So we're gonna go, instead of horror, we'll go with the we kind of just talked about this last week. We did find out news that when it comes to The Witcher, season 5 is in fact going to be the last season. That's right. Wipe your tears, guys. It seems as though the trajectory for The Witcher has been going downhill a little bit. I don't know if it's the departure of Henry Cavill. I don't know if it's just the way people have been resonating with the series. Maybe it not adapting the source material as closely as some people certainly wanted. I don't believe I watched or finished season 3 of The Witcher. I might have fallen off too, to be honest with you, Stuart. So I might have added to those diluting numbers, unfortunately. But while we do know that Liam Hemsworth is taking over for Henry Cavill in the brand new season of The Witcher for season 4, they have recently announced that season 5 of The Witcher will in fact be the end. And with that kind of sour taste in your mouth, knowing that the series is finally coming to an end, this next news, Stuart, is not good for the franchise on Netflix as a whole, if you ask me. As it seems as though The Witcher main series is not the only thing that is coming to an end. As according to comingsoon.net, 2 of The Witcher spin-off shows reportedly are canceled by Netflix. It says, according to, what is this? Damn. Sorry, these ads are driving me crazy. According to what's on Netflix, the mega streamer has reportedly already canceled 2 of its original planned The Witcher spin-off shows, including the long-rumored The Rats prequel. And an untitled kid-friendly spinoff. This news comes after the main Witcher series has recently begun filming its 4th season, which will now be led by the Hunger Games alum Liam Hemsworth. For those of you who don't know about The Rats, it says The Rats would have starred Dolph Lundgren, Ben Radcliffe, Christelle Elwyn, Fabian McKellum, Aggie Adams, Juliet Alexandra, Connor Crawford, Morgan Santo, and Steve Mark. The title characters actually appeared in The Witcher season 3 finale, where they were introduced as a band of young misfits who sorted to a life of crime due to war. It says Netflix recently confirmed that the main series will be officially ending its run in the 5th installment. So yeah, we got some terrible news for the upcoming or what was going to be the upcoming The Rat prequel series, and an untitled kid-friendly spinoff as well. And here's another shot of the group. As you can see, the girl from that The Witcher has been protecting and training is in this shot. Also, I guess this is a behind-the-scenes photo of the crew as well for The Rats. Did you watch season 3, Stuart, of this show?
I have not.
Okay, so this is kind of brand new to the both of us here. I didn't even know that they introduced these characters, quite frankly. Look, I'm not gonna lie, I have really enjoyed some of the Witcher stuff that we've gotten so far. I was a fan of seasons 1 and 2. I really personally enjoyed um, the animated movie that they revealed to us, highlighting Gerald's um, the person that trained him or whatever the case may be, took him under his wing. I thought that was a really great movie. They did have a spin-off series, I think, that came out of it, Blood and or Blood. I can't remember what the name of the series was off the top of my head. It was okay. I mean, it wasn't necessarily the best, but it was, for me, I'm a sucker for lore, and I'm a sucker for history and building upon sort of the past. And I always thought that The Witcher did a really great job of giving us like these moments of like these spin-off things, and then integrating that story or connecting it to like whatever season was set to come. And so I believe the series that I was referring to was between seasons 2 and 3, and maybe hinted at some things that were going to happen in season 3. But I unfortunately just never went back and finished season 3, even though me and the girlfriend were big Witcher fans. Maybe that's something that we still kind of wrap up, because I do want to finish the series as a whole when we get to seasons 4 and 5. But I missed season 3, so I did miss this introduction to the rats here. So a little bit of a bummer, man. I thought this was going to be a series that, or a franchise that would certainly produce a little bit more than what it has. But I've been happy with what we've gotten so far, Stuart. What about you?
Yeah, because I did like I did like season 1 and 2. I never gone out of my way, at least not yet, to watch the movie or the. I just found the name of the show was Blood Origin.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know why. I think it was just, I don't know. Witcher is just like one of those shows where it feels like I can just kind of pick up and stop at any point. Like
Mhm.
I never feel the need, like once I finish an episode, like, oh, I have to see what happens next. And I think I've just been at that point for a while. I think the moment I start trying to get back into it, I'll probably instantly get hooked back onto the show, but I'm just not in a hurry to, for some reason. And I'm wondering if that's how other people are feeling, and if that's why the ratings for season 3 and uh, actually the ratings for Blood Origin might be low, because it looks
Yeah.
like the reviews are really low.
It
Because I'm
was,
looking,
yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't good.
I'm looking at like Rotten Tomatoes. It has 28%. So
I can see that.
maybe that also partially killed the
It,
momentum of the show.
it might have. I know I said it was okay, but now that I rethink about it, I really had a struggle kind of getting through that series, to be quite frank with you. I don't think I really cared for it too much. The special effects were pretty terrible too, if you ask me.
Really, because like
Yeah.
that's one of the highlights of Witchers. I do love their effects in the main show, that is. So yeah, I think just it feels like Witcher's kind of lost its momentum is all.
Although Michelle Yeoh is in it, and I think she was probably the best part of that entire series, to be honest with you.
She's the best part in almost anything she's in.
Yeah, she was my saving grace. I think that's probably why I stuck with it, honestly.
I think like they could, if they wanted to, they could make Section 31 a movie, and it would probably do all right, just because people would see that she's going to be the main character in it.
Yeah, she would definitely put some butts in seats if they released it worldwide for sure. But yeah, so things are just going downhill, unfortunately, for The Witcher. I think all good things must unfortunately come to an end, and with the announcement of The Witcher season 5 ending, they probably figured, why continue this franchise if things like the rats, even though it's going to be a prequel series, why continue along that path if The Witcher itself isn't going to continue. So Marceline does have some comments in regards to it, though. He says The Witcher's the writers disregarded the source material, not because it was easier to tell on TV. It was because they wanted to do their own thing, but were given an IP property. They actively wanted to make changes, but it wasn't just disregarding the books. There's also just bad writing, like Blood Origin miniseries.
Mm-hmm.
Marceline also says the Rat spinoff show somewhat interested me, but that would have to be 100% original since there's no books based on them. Maybe it was for the best. I mean, look, the idea of having been an original might have been pretty fascinating. I always like, not to say I don't like the idea of adapting stuff, because I do like adapted source material when done right. But I
Mhm.
do like the idea of originality, allowing them more freedom to kind of play in that world. Like if you really don't want to have to adapt source material, maybe the Rats was like right up your alley, but maybe they looked at it and was just like, yeah, even your original stuff is just not up to par. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He says, as for the kid-oriented show, I was confused as to how that would work because The Witcher is known for its violence and sex. But even if it did well, kids would be curious to see other Witcher content. Yeah, when I read that and it said they had a kid-friendly series, I'm like, what? Kid-friendly? Like, why? Why would you go that route? That didn't make any sense.
You could ask the same with like every cartoon in the 80s based on an R-rated movie, like there was a RoboCop cartoon, there was a Rambo cartoon, there was a Toxic Avengers cartoon.
That's true. That's very true. How they made stuff like that work animated wise based off of these violent franchises. Yeah, man, that's quite true. It's possible. It definitely is possible.
I'm honestly surprised there was never a Terminator Saturday morning cartoon.
Right? That's a good point. That's a good point. Marceline also said they do have another animated Witcher movie coming out this year that will adapt one of the short stories, and they will have the voice actor who voiced Geralt from the games to reprise his role. That's cool.
Ooh.
I'm always down for animated Witcher movies because I thought the first one was fantastic. But yeah, guys, let us know your thoughts. Are you bummed at the trajectory in which the Witcher franchise is currently now going? We definitely want to know your guys' thoughts in the comment section box below. And do you have a favorite season of The Witcher so far? It's definitely going to be feeling different, I think, come season 4 with Liam Hemsworth. And yeah, I wonder if people are already kind of checked out because of that. Also, Stuart losing Henry Cavill, I think, is a big blow to the franchise.
Yeah, poor Liam, man, because even if he does a good job, you know for a fact he's going to have to deal with the toxic side of the Henry Cavill fans. That is not me saying Henry Cavill is toxic, just that, like any fan base, he has some toxic ones out there.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, guys, let us know your thoughts. At the end of the day, these are just our A+ opinions, but we always want to know yours. All right, Stuart. And with that out of the way, we got one more topic that we're going to get into today. As you know, we're going to get into some horror genre for you guys. As look, I know Sam Raimi has been in the news lately in regards to potentially maybe being a possible director for a Spider-Man 4 movie. But what I can tell you is while we don't know if that's true or not, he clearly is working behind the scenes and trying to find a brand new director for a brand new Evil Dead movie. That's right. There is development happening behind the scenes. As this week, we have I believe, a brand new writer and director combo being attached to this. I'm personally not too familiar with this gentleman's work, but Sam Raimi certainly thought it was worth an announcement here. And look, we like to give news about as many different sort of genres as we possibly can around here. And every once in a while, especially with a franchise as big and as popular as The Evil Dead, it's certainly worth delivering. So let's go ahead and dive into this, Stuart. I might let you go first on this news here. But this comes to us from Deadline.com. Francis Jaluppi tapped to write and direct a brand new Evil Dead movie. I'm going to give you guys a quick disclaimer. There is going to be a graphic image I'm about to post right now while I talk about this. So just a heads up, okay? If the scary images bother you, please cover your eyes. Because that freaks me the fuck out every time I look at it. Evil Dead. But look, it's the Evil Dead, baby. Right? Francis Jaluppi, The Last Stop in Yuma County is what he's most notably known for, has been tapped to write and direct the new Evil Dead movie from Sam Raimi and Robert Tappert's Ghost House Pictures, sources tell Deadline. The project is described only as an original story that Jaluppi developed and brought to Raimi and the team. No word on the plot and who all will be producing, as it's in its early days as of right now. In a statement to Deadline, Sam Raimi did tell us Francis Jaluppi is a storyteller who knows when to keep us waiting in simmering tension and when to hit us with an explosive violence. He's a director that shows uncommon control in his feature debut. It also goes on to say here that Evil Dead is, of course, Sam Raimi's horror franchise going back to 1981's same name film. It wind up grew into a trilogy, also spurring the creation of stars Ash versus Evil Dead and a number of other projects. They most recently had Evil Dead Rise from writer and director Lee Cronin, grossed more than $147 million worldwide last year. At present, Jalupi's Evil Dead film is one of two in the works. Earlier this year, they also tapped Sebastian Vanessic to co-write and direct a new spin-off for the franchise, as we were also first to report. And if you guys are curious about Francis Jalupi's work, it says his debut feature, a crime thriller, The Last Stop in Yuma County, follows a traveling salesman who, while stranded at a rural Arizona rest stop, is thrust into a dire hostage situation by the arrival of two bank robbers with no qualms about using cruelty or cold hard steel to protect their blood-stained fortune. Interesting. That sounds actually pretty fascinating. I might have to see where I can find that movie at.
I looked up the trailer because when we mentioned the director for Evil Dead before we started the show, I was curious what else he had worked on, and The Last Stop in Yuma County looks pretty good. It's got the one actor I freaking love, Richard Brake. He's like terrifying in everything that he's in.
Nice.
I don't know. I think it looks cool. It's definitely a movie I want to check out after watching the trailer. And I just from the trailer alone, I could see why Sam Raimi would have an eye for this guy.
Does he have a little bit of just from the trailer? Does he have like a directing style that might match that of Sam Raimi a little bit?
A little bit, definitely has.
Sam Raimi has like his own very stylistic sort of approach to horror for sure.
Yeah, I think it's definitely not the same as Sam Raimi's, but he definitely has a. I don't know if I'd call it unique because it's nothing that I haven't already seen before, but he definitely has a very specific. I don't know. He definitely knows what he's doing. Just looking at the cinematography from this, it definitely from the trailer, yeah.
I know you're a big Evil Dead fan in general. I'm pretty sure you've checked out Evil Dead Rise, if I'm not mistaken. I think you might have talked about it before. How do you feel about the idea of this guy or just them getting themselves a new film altogether?
I'm always down for a new Evil Dead movie. I liked Evil Dead Rise, didn't love it, but I thought it was a fun horror film. Same with kind of the remake that we had, or I guess it was technically a sequel remake that we got. Really enjoyed that one, actually. And then, of course, I freaking love the TV show Ash versus the Evil Dead. So hearing that we're getting like two new movies, one of them supposed to be like an original story that is considered an Evil Dead sequel, and then one that's a spinoff. I'm curious what they mean by spinoff, because if by spinoff they mean it's just another story with new characters that happens to follow the Book of the Dead.
Book of the Dead, yeah.
I feel like that would just be, another sequel then, because that's exactly what we got with the Evil Dead quote unquote remake and then Evil Dead Rise. So I'm kind of curious if they're going to specify on that anymore. And with this one, so if that one's a spinoff and this one is considered a sequel, does that mean they're bringing Ash back in this movie? And if so, awesome. I love me some Bruce Campbell, so definitely, if we get more of him.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't think I finished Evil Dead Rise, but I did watch the remake of the Evil Dead, the recent one, and I thought that was pretty good too. I had a really good time with that one. So I'm always down for them to do more things. I didn't watch all of the Ash versus the Evil Dead, but I did. There was an episode that I think the writer at the time for the Power Ranger movie, Brian Edward Hill, I believe he wrote, and I wanted to go ahead and see what that episode was like, and so I wound up checking it out, and it was pretty good, man. It was pretty damn funny at times too. But I was a really big fan of the episode that I did watch. But look, I do love me some horror genre from time to time, so I'm always down for this, especially if Sam Raimi thinks that this guy's got a particular eye for bringing his franchise to life and giving him the opportunity. Like, Sam Raimi, I like Sam Raimi in that sense because Stuart, we have seen like past people that have created a franchise that have been super protective of things. When other people come in and they try and make a remakes or tell stories like, based off of what they've done before, that they can be very much against it or like not want to see any of it. So I think the fact that Sam Raimi is that open to new creators and new visions being told sort of within that world, I think always says something, honestly.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, guys, let us know your thoughts. Sam says bring back Bruce Campbell as Ash Williams in the new Evil Dead. I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let us know your thoughts. You gonna say something, Stuart? I'm sorry.
I was, but then I thought about it and I'm like, never mind.
All right, no problem. But yeah, guys, let us know your thoughts in regards to a brand new Evil Dead. And yeah, I'm gonna have to check out that Francis Jaluppi movie. Does it say where you can stream it by any chance? Does it give you an idea?
I tried Googling it. It looks like it's only available for digital purchase.
Okay, all right. And real quick from Blossom, she says, I sent you another chat, dude. Did you see? I didn't. The last one that I saw, I seem like we've gotten 2 chats from you today. The last one that I saw was the Deadpool, that vulgar dude. We did highlight that one and talk about that real briefly, but we did talk about that one. I don't know if that was the last one that you sent, because I think she has mentioned she sent another one last time and it just didn't come through. Maybe let me see if I can pull it up on the actual channel itself and see if like in the chat. I'm going to try and pull it up in the live chat and see if it highlights it in there. Yeah, no, the last one I'm showing still in that chat is the Deadpool and the Green Lantern picture comment. But yeah, I'm not showing it. Yeah, I don't know if it came through or not. Blossom, if you did send it. If there was another one at least. But yeah, the Deadpool one's the last one that I saw. Speaking of horror genre, somebody, and I clearly missed this in theaters. I tried to look for it at my local theater and I could not find it playing anywhere anymore. Late Night with the Devil.
Yeah, I need to see that movie.
I saw the trailer of it and holy it looks good. It really got me excited to check it out. It is currently on this app Shudder. I think you might have to. I think it is like a subscription based app, but somebody told me it might do like a week free trial. I was thinking about maybe checking out that free trial just to try and watch that movie and see how I like it. But I would assume it's like a horror app full of horror movies and television series and whatnot. Again, the app is called Shudder, Shudder. But the movie that people have been telling me about, because this past weekend I was thinking to myself, like, what movie should I watch? And I went and saw Abigail. And I was asking people, like, what movies should I see? And I posted, I was thinking between Abigail and some other movie. And somebody was like, you need to see Late Night with the Devil. And I was like, what's that? And I looked up the trailer and man, it looks incredible.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I've walked in on scenes because we were playing it at the Draft House. Looks fascinating. Like, it looks like a horror movie that just completely takes place during the set of a talk show the entire time. And it looks like you just have kind of, talk show host trying to keep the show going while also like going, oh, this is happening. Yeah, so it looks very good. And then yes, Shudder, I highly recommend that streaming service. It's one that I will keep a subscription to even when I'm not using it, just because I'm happy to support any kind of streaming services that like provide easy access to obscure horror films.
Yeah, I might have to. How much do you pay a month for that one?
I believe it's $8.99, so less than $10.
Okay. My stuff is just adding up right now. I'm definitely gonna have to cancel some things, man. It's getting
yeah.
expensive out here for sure. But yeah, I'm gonna have to check that one out since we were talking about a little bit of horror. Sam even mentioned Bambi the Reckoning. I saw the trailer. It looks creepy like Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, I think I might have played Bambi the Reckoning trailer a couple of weeks ago in the honorable mention segment. But yeah, definitely looks creepy for sure. But you got something?
Also, I just wanted to look it up just to make sure this was accurate. Yep, Late Night with the Devil is on Shudder.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out then. And I think that will wrap it up for all of our main topics. But we're not done, y'all. We got some live viewer questions that we're gonna get into. But before we do, man, 21 viewers over on Twitter right now, 13 over on YouTube, 1 on Twitch. Man, hit that like button, y'all. Look, if you can't help us out monetarily, you know how you can help us. Hitting that like button, even leaving comments on these videos towards the end of these after we wrap up. Your comments, your thoughts on some of the topics will definitely help. Retweet, share these videos. Every little bit certainly helps us grow, guys. So we definitely appreciate all of your support. Let's see here. Stuart, are you ready to get into the last segment of the day?
I am indeed.
Let's do it.
And now, everybody, it is time for live viewer questions.
And if you ever want to wonder, how do I send a live viewer question? It's pretty easy. Let me go ahead and pull this up. Just go over to our main YouTube channel, click on the community tab, and you will find, usually on a Saturday evening, that we in fact do drop a post for you guys for live viewer questions. Let's go ahead and take you there right now. So again, just go over to our YouTube channel, APlus Hero Report, as you see right here. Click on that community tab, and boom, live viewer questions post every Saturday for you guys. Let's go ahead and sort these out by newest. And let's dive into some questions here, man. You know what? Can we get some? I know the background music is a little choppy at first, but I think eventually it kind of comes together. Okay. Hopefully you can hear me, Stuart. You hear me all right? All right. You hear me, Stuart?
Oh, sorry. The music is starting to kind of mute your voice a bit.
Oh, but you can hear me now, okay, though?
Okay, now I can. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, usually it's kind of choppy at the beginning, but so yeah, man, let's go ahead and get to some live viewer questions and see what you guys are talking about today. Marcelino, we'll start off with you, buddy. He says, I know you guys criticize fart jokes whenever they're used, but there are people who would agree that fart jokes can be great humor. It just has to be written well. Examples people bring include Adventure Time, Despicable Me, and Shrek. Do you agree with this? I do. What about you, Stuart?
Dang, I think like he's referring to how much I hated the fart jokes in Ninja Steel. I don't.
I was about to say, like,
jokes.
If we're talking about Vic and Monty, then yeah,
yeah, because those were never funny. Those were always like just lazy. But no, there are examples of when fart jokes can be done really well. He brings up Adventure Time, dude. That scene with Jake and Finn in the vents, and then like he lets one loose it while they're like hiding, and then suddenly they're caught, and like Jake is just like, "I'm sorry, I thought it would be funny." Dude, that is like one of the funniest things. Yeah, so I don't hate fart jokes. I just think you need to be creative about it,
Yeah, like a fart joke just to have a fart joke. Yeah, I'm not a fan of. But like if you could really spit it into the story and the great timing and great moment, then absolutely. Like you mentioned Shrek in there. Yeah, absolutely. Like I'm pretty sure I had a great laugh at the Shrek stuff. So yeah, it's really all about timing. And so I don't have a problem so much with fart jokes. It's just, as long as the humor surrounding it is pretty good. One-shot action scenes are universally praised, but are some one-shot action scenes that are just bad, and you're not allowed to use any made by Asylum or any other movie studio like them because those films are meant to be bad.
Ooh, I got a good example.
What you got?
The one-shot action scene they tried to do in The Flash season 4 with the Thinker. They really wanted to have their Daredevil moment, but holy crap, it did not work at all. It was quite lazy and just not fun to watch.
Man, I looked at this question the other day and I just kept thinking to myself, like, is there a bad one shot that I've seen? I just couldn't think of one, Stuart. I'm sure there's probably one out there, but like if I think about it, now that you brought up the Flash, I am wondering if Supergirl might have had like a one long shot that I just maybe didn't necessarily care about, just special effects wise. but I just can't think of anything off the top of my head. Like I can remember one from Agents of Shield that I thought was pretty badass, of Daisy Johnson's just showcasing her badassness. I'm pretty sure Arrow probably did some pretty fantastic ones there too.
Yes.
I almost find I can't say, look, I can't say that there are none out there. I just feel like I've been pretty impressed with a lot of the ones that I have seen. If there is and it's maybe not necessarily a one-shot action sequence, but an action sequence that I have not cared for, I believe was like in the second or third Born Identity film. And I say that in the sense of the shaky cam during action sequences just drive me crazy. Like I get the idea that's like an intense scuffle and it's a back and forth hand-to-hand combat and stuff, but the idea of like just the shot like fucking just shaking, like I want to see like what's going on. Like you're giving me a headache, I'm getting queasy watching this fight scene, and I shouldn't have those thoughts or experiences when I'm watching an action sequence. So I get the idea of being in the violence and gritty and stuff, but yeah, I'm not a fan of action sequences like that with the whole shaky cam stuff. But so I can't think of a one action sequence that I didn't like. I actually went down a rabbit hole yesterday of like great one shot action sequences, but I couldn't come up with any that I didn't care for.
I think it's just because, like, if you're going to do a one-shot action scene, usually it means you know what you're doing, so you don't try something like that unless you're really confident. The other example, okay, there is actually one more example I have of the bad one. M. Night Shyamalan's The Last Airbender, because there was one shot in it where they were trying to do it all in one shot, trying to do a cool 360 thing where it was Aang and Zuko fighting side by side, but the problem was the camera was too wide, so like most one-shot action scenes, you want to like hide all the henchmen that they're fighting because you don't want them to be seen until they're about to try to attack the protagonist. Because if it's too wide, you see what they're really doing is they're just standing there waiting for their turn, and it just looks so bad. It's not, that's, obviously it doesn't look like a real fight. And so you had that with the Fire Nation, just like kind of standing around waiting for it to be their turn to go and try to fight Zuko and Aang, and it did not look good.
Marza says your answer doesn't count, Adam. I know it doesn't. I clearly stated, like, I could not think of one. I literally pre-gamed this question beforehand. I just could not think of one, man. Maybe I just, maybe I got good taste in going to see some great action stuff. I have no idea. But like I said, if there was one, I mean, maybe there was one in like Supergirl where they had like really crappy like CGI sequence of her flying in the air or like flying into the group while other people are fighting and stuff. Like, I just can't think of one. But if I had to guess, there was probably one in Supergirl I didn't care for, but I just don't have the scene in my head at the moment. Sorry about that, Marcelino. But hey, Stuart gave you two fantastic ones right there. Everyone had theories on who would die in Crisis on Infinite Earths, but the only big permanent deaths that happened were Oliver and the 90s Flash. Not a lot of people died, which felt like the stakes were lessened out and that the status quo didn't change. After watching some old theory videos, here's who I think should have died and would have helped with the event. James Olsen, yeah, he probably could have perished. John Jones, Cisco. Oh, that would have been heartfelt. I mean, if he was going to leave the show, why not?
Yeah.
Mick, Ray, Constantine, Nate, and Jay Garrett. The reason why I chose these ones is because they don't do a lot in the later seasons. As for Ray, Brandon Routh expressed that he didn't like being kicked off of Legends, but I think he would have been more appreciative of his death, especially since the crossover introduced Ryan Choi, and he would have taken up the mantle. What do you think? I mean, to be fair, Brandon Routh kind of did get a little bit of a death scene in Crisis on the Infinite Earths as Superman. But I get his idea of like as Ray, he, whatever the case may be. But yeah, I definitely agree with some of those. John Jones, probably not. I really loved his impact on Supergirl. I would have been cool with James Olsen, Cisco, Mick. Was that Heatwave?
Yeah.
Mick. Yeah, why not? Because let's call Mr. Freeze. The other guy, he perished too, didn't he?
Yeah.
So I would have been cool with Mick going. Constantine, nah, I'm cool with Constantine sticking around. Nate, who is Nate?
Steel, or Citizen Steel.
Oh yeah, I would have been cool with that. And Jay Garrick, yeah, I agree with most of those. Jay Garrick, oof. Nah, you killed off 90s Flash. So
yeah, I think that's enough.
I think that's enough. Yeah,
you don't need to kill more than one Flash.
Keep Jay Garrick on there. So yeah, like two out of the three, I probably would have kept. But other than that, I'm cool with everybody else.
Yeah, we needed Jay Garrick for Stargirl, you know.
Yes, good point. Jessica Fryman, which X-Men 97, with X-Men 97 doing so well on Disney Plus, could Disney bring back other X-Men cartoons like X-Men Evolution and Wolverine and the X-Men? And with the new Karate Kid movie delayed, could work finally start on the Power Rangers reboot? Well, as far as the reboot goes, one of the things that we talked about early when we discussed the Karate Kid kind of being delayed, I don't think the Karate Kid delay would affect Power Rangers. And I say that because it's just the release date that's being delayed. I don't believe it's filming or production of the film. As far as I know, Karate Kid is currently in front of pictures or in front of the film, being shot as we speak. I don't know how long their shoot is certainly going to go for. They may eventually have some reshoots set up in the future, which I think is always normal. So I do think, if anything, this maybe just allows the Karate Kid in post-production more time to put itself together and figure out if there's any changes that certainly might need to be made. But if anything, I could see Jonathan Entwistle wrapping up a majority of his work while editing and stuff winds up taking place, even though I'm sure he'll have some part to do with the editing and post-production, making sure that the film kind of comes together. But again, all that would have certainly have taken place, I would believe, in the same time period that it would have for this movie to certainly still be released in December. So I think the delay comes more from a strategic sort of standpoint of where they want to release the movie, not the idea of it being delayed due to the movie not being good or needing to do more behind the scenes. So I do think that this still will still keep the door open for the Power Rangers reboot, for it to pick up whenever they originally certainly had plans for it. Unless there's something that's come out that the Power Ranger reboot is certainly no longer happening. I haven't heard anything about that. So I expect once Jonathan Entwistle is wrapped up, he'll probably move on to the Power Rangers reboot. And when it's time for him to start promoting and marketing Karate Kid, then I think he'll start doing that. I don't know if you want to add to that, or if you want to tackle the X-Men, the idea of them bringing back other X-Men cartoons.
I'll just go to the X-Men part because, you pretty much just took the words right out of my mouth with the first part. So with X-Men 97, I don't see them redoing other X-Men shows, at least not anytime soon. I think if anything, X-Men 97 could lead to a revival for the Spider-Man cartoon, or one of the other Marvel shows that were around during that time. But I don't see them bringing back more X-Men shows when this one's already doing good on its own. At least not now. Like maybe when the show ends, after a few years after it ends, then we might go to Evolution. But for now, I don't think the nostalgia for Wolverine and the X-Men or Evolution are as strong as they were for 97.
Yeah, I agree. And I think if anything, I'm under the impression that they plan on keeping X-Men 97 around for quite some time. I don't know if they have a set number of seasons that they want to tackle and then end. I think I heard a report that as long as the series is doing good, just continue with it. So this may be our only revival of X-Men that we have in a while. But I would agree with you, Stuart. It might open the door for other franchises to come back. Peg C, what's up, Peg C? Hey, Adam and company, hope you're all doing well. I don't know if this will be part of your main topics, but I'll use it as one of my questions. Have you heard about the news of Hasbro licensing the Power Rangers toy line to Playmates? Have you heard of that one, Stuart?
I have not. This Playmates, it sounds familiar. What kind of toys have they produced?
Let me go ahead and pull this up here while you look that up. I'm gonna stop sharing this screen briefly, and we'll come back to that in just a second. But just to answer Peg C's question. This is from the link that he gave us from Hasbro's newsroom. Hasbro and Playmates Toy enter strategic relationship to produce and distribute Power Rangers product globally starting in 2025. So it looks like they've handed over the license to another group to create toys. Hasbro, a leading toy and game company, today announced global licensing agreement with Playmates Toys, a global toy design, development, marketing, and distribution company to produce and distribute Power Rangers product. So I guess Hasbro's not creating them, but
Oops.
Playmates now is. Playmates is debuting its first Power Ranger collection with the kid-targeted Mighty Morphin Power Rangers toy line.
Sorry, can you hear my screen?
No, I can't hear it.
Okay, cool. I was trying to look up like Playmates and like the toys that they've currently work on, and it took me to like because one of them was Star Trek, so I went to Star Trek, and it took me to this weird Star Trek website where it's designed like a Star Trek computer. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
So it's not giving. Okay, here we go. Now I can finally see. It looks like they sorry, I'm talking loud because the sound was really loud on there. It looks like they have like not high end quality toys, but it looks like they're kind of like the simple designs that like are more affordable for everyone.
Okay. I do laugh reading this because it says Playmates is debuting its first Power Ranger collection with a kid-targeted Mighty Morphin Power Rangers toy line, and I could just hear the fans going, "More Mighty Morphin Power Rangers!"
Yeah.
As part of the agreement, Playmates holding license rights to develop additional cross-category Power Ranger products, including action figures, blasters, plush, role play, vehicles, and accessories. So it looks like they're a vast variety of different Power Ranger toys. The deal encompasses global distribution. We are honored to work with Hasbro on the imagination of the iconic franchise's toy line for a long-time fans and new generation of children. Playmates and Hasbro speak the same toy language and share passions for Power Rangers, multi-generational phenomena that stood the test of time. It says Hasbro will retain all entertainment rights and will continue to drive global strategy and growth for Power Ranger franchise by strategically working with licensing across multiple categories, including publishing, fashion, footwear, promotions, and more. Hasbro will also further activate the brand across their direct-to-consumer channel, Hasbro Pulse, and as part of the presence at major industry like San Diego Comic-Con. So they still hold the entertainment rights. So they're still going to be producing television, movie content, but also clearly fashion, footwear, publishing, and a ton more. So it looks like it's really the toy line that they've kind of pushed over to Playmates, which, look, I can understand the bummer that people feel in regards to this. I mean, Hasbro is more than the formidable toy company. The idea that they're not taking it upon themselves to kind of create this, it does make me wonder, like, how do they view Power Rangers as a whole? I mean, if they are, there's a part of me too, Stuart, that's just thinking to myself, like, because it's more of a toy strategy, if there is going to be a connection to what Power Rangers was in the past, this might be where that stays at Playmates. If they're talking like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, then I expect like the classic look of our Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And who knows, maybe they eventually introduce, it talks about their first debuting their first line to be Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It doesn't say it's just exclusively Mighty Morphin Power Ranger content. So who's to say that they don't dive into other series at some point in time? Clearly, it's not going to be at the level and detail that like a Lightning collection certainly was. At least from what you're being able to see so far, we haven't seen any designs of what Playmates has in store for Power Rangers. So maybe they could look significantly different. But when I think of Playmates, I do think like more kids, probably aimed at a younger audience. So I am curious about the quality of things. But I also do think that this is like a clear... To me, my thing is like, if they're holding on to the entertainment rights and they still plan on creating Power Rangers, but we know Power Rangers is going into a more YA mature themed from time to time, maybe they just don't envision their new reboot world to be toy friendly or create toys for their television series. Like maybe they solely are focusing just on the entertainment side of things, and this is how they continue the sort of 28 plus years of franchise stuff for Power Rangers by giving the toy licensing rights to somebody else.
Yeah. I don't know. I see it as just branching out, trying to hit other audiences, because Hasbro tends to go with the more expensive, like you were mentioning, the Lightning Collection, which is like for the more adult collectors. So I think it makes perfect sense that, to make some more money to try to hit other markets, they would give, like, they would rent out the licensing rights to other companies that might want to go for a completely different market that hasn't been like kind of, already like tapped out. So I think like selling kind of like cheaper to make Power Rangers toys towards younger kids, I think is probably a smart move on their part. I don't think it really says anything about the future of Power Rangers at all. I think it just says like, we have some time before the reboot comes out. Let's do some experimenting with marketing before then.
And look, I'm not a hardcore toy collector like a lot of people are, so I can understand if they're coming at this from a different perspective and the point of view than I am. Maybe there are some Lightning Collection things that still haven't been completed, right? And they've got these incomplete sets or teams that haven't had the opportunity to be showcased in that format. And so for that, I could definitely understand the disappointment in regards to how maybe Hasbro is kind of handling this. Like for me, I am kind of curious, like have they technically given all their rights away? Like, are we going to get any more of the Zap, like the Zord Ascension project stuff? Because I was a really big fan of those things. Or are they really relegating Power Rangers now to just Playmate kid toys? So I can understand a little level of disappointment that some people might have, but again, I'm just not a big toy collector like that. But so I do think there's interesting ways to view this news, Peg C, for sure.
When what's funny is like when Hasbro first bought the rights to Power Rangers, I told myself I was going to start like collecting the toys as they came out, and I did a pretty good job for like the first year, and then I just couldn't afford it anymore.
Yeah, man, it can get kind of expensive. It's definitely an expensive hobby for sure. Johnny, what's up, Johnny? Kind of a similar question. With Power Ranger toys now going to be made by Playmates, what figures would you like to see from them? Look, they're clearly going to be starting off with MMPR that I'm sure eyes will begin to roll. I would be interested to see what their figures are going to look like. I definitely want to see a first look, but if this is just what they're debuting, I am under the impression that we will get other teams. So if we can get other teams, I think that's great for everybody. Johnny also says, do you believe once MMPR ends its 8-year run with Darkest Hour, do you believe a relaunch will happen from Boom Studios, or will they set up a Zeo comic series? Oh, interesting. What do you think, Stuart?
I haven't heard too much what's going to be going on with the future, but I wouldn't be opposed to a Zeo comic book. I loved during Shattered Grid, we had like a little glimpse into Power Rangers Zeo. We had like a really cool back and forth between Jason and Tommy during that time. I would love to see them bring something like that back, kind of go with the story of Zeo, but like kind of give us a more mature angle on it, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I would kind of dig that. One of the things that I always talked about was, when I first jumped on board with the comic books, I always just like in my head figure out where's this placed in television series canon. At what point in time were these characters kind of taking place? And there was a part of me that I thought eventually they would work themselves up to a Zeo. And then eventually getting us into like a Turbo. I guess a part of me always figured it would maybe just be titled Power Rangers. I guess it couldn't have been called Mighty Morphin Power Rangers for so long. But there are a lot of other teams that I would like to see them kind of focus on. And if it's the same team, but just Zeo with like, the new members being a part of it too, I would be really open to that. So I do think there's a lot of possibilities, because if anything, I do think that there's certainly story to definitely be told. And I think it would be a really great way for them to continue utilizing the past 28 years of Power Ranger lore. So, who knows? Maybe they have look, Boom Studios has mentioned, look, we have ourselves a panel at San Diego Comic-Con. We got some surprises for you guys. I can easily see them doing like both projects, like a Power Rangers Zeo series launch, and something like a MMPR, the Return ongoing series or something like that. Like I think they've just set up so much for themselves with the Power Rangers Unlimited, like one shots and some of the one shot graphic novels that they created. Like they can really get into their bag in regards to alternate universes, the coinless universe, if they want to, revisit that sort of thing. I just think they've set themselves up for a lot of great potential and storytelling and great projects that they can certainly do, regardless if it's MMPR. So could it be a revamp and starting a Power Rangers issue #1? I can easily see that, because that's what comic book titles do every like 2-3 years now, it feels like. But I can also see them going a completely different path too. So I would be open to both.
One direction I would like to see them go in, but I could also see why they wouldn't, because the first time they tried this, it didn't get the best reviews. But they could do like a team where it's just 5 members from 5 completely different teams, and then just have that be like the full series. But I could see why they'd be hesitant, because they kind of did that after like post Shattered Grid. There was kind of a storyline like that, and I remember thinking it was all right, but I know that there was a lot of fans online who weren't a fan.
Yeah, I definitely know what you mean. Ram Gems, this says, did you guys answer all 3 of my questions? I'm just curious. Peg C, I'm only seeing 1. You did number it #1, so I was expecting more, but there's no like read more button here. This is
I gotta read more under it.
Oh, you do? Let me
yeah.
see if I can refresh and see if it pops up on my end. Okay, there we go. Boom. Sorry about that, Peg C. I didn't see that. I don't know why. Let me reshuffle this up again. I don't know why I did that on my end. Okay. And let me finish off Johnny real quick. He's got one more question, and then I'll get right back to you, Peg C. What are the chances for 3-0 to make the 1995 MMPR Movie Rangers and Omega Rangers? Because I want to see an Omega Red trainee. I don't know. I don't know if that's a possibility anymore.
Wait, chance for the 3-0. Who's that again?
Is that a production company? Maybe are they doing Omega Rangers stuff?
I'm not sure. I was kind of like assuming it was a character. Hang on, let me Google that.
It might be a toy company.
Oh, it is a toy company. Oh, they're the ones who have kind of the more realistic looking Power Ranger designs, where like there's actually like fabric on the suits.
On the suits. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that would be pretty sick actually if they did the Omega Rangers.
That would be pretty sick. I do recall seeing the MMPR one or MMPR ones. Mm. How good of a chance? That I don't know, but yeah. If anything, maybe the movie Rangers. I don't know if we'll get Omega Rangers though, but that would be cool.
That would be.
Peg C says, it seems X-Men 97 just flew by so fast with only 3 episodes left. What do you want to see going into season 2 of X-Men 97? Oh man, I don't even know. I gotta first off, I gotta catch up to the last 2 episodes. Although I did watch episode 6, I have not watched episode 7. Episode 6 being where Storm finally breaks through with her demons and whatnot, and then the Charles Xavier Lilandra story. But I haven't watched episode 7 as of yet. I don't even know what to expect from season 2. I still got 3 more episodes to go, Peg C.
Yeah, neither do I. I also haven't seen episode 7 yet. 6 was the last one I saw. Yeah, no, I have 0 expectations for season 2 because I don't even know how this season is going to end. The fact that we got in one season, we got the Sentinels, we got Sinister, and we got like I don't know.
Madeline Pryor in here.
We got Charles Xavier coming back. We just got so much in the first season alone that I need to wait to see how it all finishes, because for all I know, I can predict something for season 2 and it's going to turn out to be the thing that happens in the very next episode.
Give me look, I'll just throw something out there. Give me an Onslaught storyline and a tease of Age of Apocalypse. I'll take that from the comics. I'll take that.
I wouldn't be opposed to Deadpool either.
Yes, absolutely. He also says in the live action adaptation of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin movie, which actress would you like to see return to play April in the movie? Judith Hoga from the first TMNT movie, or Paige Turco, who played the second April from Secrets of the Ooze?
Oh, I forgot they were played by different actresses.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. It's been a minute. Let me see. Judith Hoga.
I guess like if I had to pick, like Judith Hoga's the actress I remember more. So if she wanted to return to in The Last Ronin, that would be pretty awesome.
Who is Paige Turco?
Yeah. What else has she been in?
Give me Paige Turco. I'll take Paige Turco.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll take Paige Turco. I feel like I've seen her in other things too. So yeah, give me Paige. Retro Girls in the house. What's up, Retro Girls? Just checking out the stream while I'm working. Great conversation so far. We appreciate you coming through, Retro. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hopefully we can collaborate in the future. I know that you are starting to do your own weekly movie film news also. We would love to kind of hear your thoughts and your opinions and get some of your just some of your knowledge also on a lot of these topics. So maybe one day we can have you on a live episode of Hero Report in the future. But we always appreciate you whenever you come through, Retro. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Let's see here. What else we got? Moving on to our next. We got Blossom. Hey, y'all. Do you remember Superhero Senkai? Do you know the Shutaro Toma spoke to was actually based on Shotaro Ishinomori? He's the creator of both Super Sentai and Kamen Rider. In a sense of Haim Saban was our Ishinomori. I probably completely butchered that name. I'm so sorry.
Wait, have I seen this?
Senkai.
Oh, I don't know if I watched this. Did I watch this one?
Oh, this is like the...
Yeah.
I feel like did I do I don't think I did a review on this one. Did you do the review on this one, Stuart? I think you watched this one, didn't you? This was the Saber. I can't remember if we watched this. Was this something that we were going to do like a crossover review and we never did?
I think so, because I do remember the hype building up to, oh my gosh, I don't think we ever got around to reviewing this movie.
I'm gonna have to check the APlus More Phenomenal channel. It's still up there.
Yeah. Because I was doing Kamen Rider Saber. You were doing Zenkaiger at the time, and we were talking about wanting to do a crossover review, but I don't remember if we ever got. I don't think we ever got around to that.
Dude, I don't remember if it was a watch along of this that we did. I can't remember, honestly, Blossom. I don't think we did, but this looks super familiar to me. Like I have watched it. I'm gonna have to check the APlus More Phenomenal page again and see if we've checked it out. Because something tells me yes, but then I want to say no.
Regardless, yeah, I need to find a new site though, because the place where I used to get like my torrents is no longer up, so I need to find a new torrent.
Try Toku Fun.
Got it.
Yeah, you can either, he does Kamen Rider and Super Sentai stuff. If you want the HD quality though, I do think it's I think it's like you have to pay for like a premium. I think it's like $4 or $5 a month. But I think you can still get just his content also.
Okay.
So Toku Fun.
Yeah, I'm cool with standard definition.
Retro says that would be fun. Yeah, I think so too. You're super knowledgeable about a lot of the movies that you watch, and I love your retro reviews for sure. Speaking of Super Sentai, Superhero Senkai, maybe in place of other Kamen Riders, Saban, other heroes, and Power Rangers that were imagined join my Tokyugers and others in battle. Yeah, if you can come up with a way to have a really big sort of epic battle, but you gotta earn it though, Blossom. You gotta earn it. You know, like you really gotta establish a really great story that really builds up to that moment of it happening, where you get all these people together. Like you can't just bring them together just to get them. I say if you're gonna do that, have it happen a little bit later in the story, but build up to something like that for an epic conclusion, if you will. Sam, what's up, Sam? Would you like to see Chinese Toko series Armor Hero be adapted in US or maybe in the UK for the first time in Britain in the future? Armor Hero, what is that?
I'm Googling that now because that sounds cool.
Hero. Armor Hero. Why did this homeboy look like
I
was like, is that Robo Knight? There was one picture in there. I was like, is that Robo Knight? Those are some pretty dope costumes, though.
Yeah, I would love to see this. Like, doesn't even need to get adapted. If they just want to like bring it over to the States, dubbed, I'll watch it.
This looks like a Kamen Rider and Power Ranger mashup in this costume design. Do you see the guy in bronze or orange? He almost reminds me of the Purple Ranger from Jungle Fury, the Wolf Ranger.
Oh, I could see that. Also, yeah, the silver guy with the gold shoulder pads, like, yeah, that definitely is Robo Knight from
like Robo Knight, right? Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, if you guys get a chance, just Google. I put in Chinese Armor Hero. Check out some of those adaptions. Some of those costumes. As far as what I like to see them adapted in US, I mean, yeah, why not? I'm always down for tokusatsu in some form or another being adapted. Power Rangers is now getting kind of a reboot, so we don't really have that tokusatsu vibe anymore, unless Kamen Rider gets adapted. So, you know, it's fair game now. Fair game if anybody wants to jump on board. Doomsday, what's up, Doomsday? What?
Oh, you're asking me to pick my favorite children here.
What happened? Was another question?
Oh no, the first question from Doomsday.
Oh yeah, I might leave that one for last real quick. When you got when we first got the Sentai season name of Dawn Brothers, did you think that they were all going to be siblings? Because I did. I thought so. At least I was under the impression that maybe 3 out of the 5 would be, but I thought it was going to be a sibling or like a family vibe.
It's not.
No, they're Dawn Brothers. No, I think they're all different. They're different characters.
Okay. Yeah, I still haven't gotten around to Dawn Brothers.
Oh, okay. I highly recommend it, man. Highly recommend it. Do you love how even though the trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine showed us a lot about the movie, there's still a lot that they're not showing us? Yes. Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's what a trailer should do.
They definitely hint at a lot for sure. Like there's a really deep, meaty storyline in here for us, but at the same time, like playing around and really great action sequences to kind of hide a lot of the great storytelling probably in this movie. So, but yeah, I agree with you, Stuart. That's how a movie trailer should certainly be. If anything, though, this is one of those things where it's like if they were to drop another trailer, I don't know if even I would watch it. Like I may drop it on our Facebook page for people to watch, but I probably will not watch it. I think I've seen enough of Deadpool and Wolverine right now to just jump into this movie blind the rest of the way. I'm still waiting for that popcorn bucket though. And last but not least, Doomsday. What would your ranking be for all the Rocky and Creed movies? Bro, why are you gonna do this to me? All the Rocky and Creed movies. Well, I will just say Rocky 5 is last.
Mm-hmm.
Sue me for what? We were like this, Tommy.
Even though we just met.
Yeah, you like my brother, Tommy. I fucking love Rocky movies, bro.
That's what's funny to think. It's like Rocky 5, which is Rocky at its worst, I think. It's still kind of entertaining. You can still quote that movie, you know?
I'm gonna bring my whiteboard out for this one. I gotta write this shit down.
Do I have one near me? I think so.
Rocky, Creed. So wait, we've got
I don't have a marker.
5 Rocky movies.
6
right?
Rocky movies.
Oh shit, Balboa. That's right.
Yeah.
6 Rocky movies and 3 Creed movies, right? I'm not missing anything.
Nope. That is all of them. All right. You know what? Both of us should write down our list and then we'll just compare it.
All right. Okay, give us this. It might be a moment of silence here, guys. So while we write this down, I need you guys to rank it also, or at least let us know your favorite films from the Rocky and Creed franchise. So I know exactly where Rocky 5 is going already. Golly. Okay. This is fucking hard.
I think some Rocky fans are going to be mad about a certain movie
They
being
might be.
pretty low on my list, but I'll explain when I get to that one. All right, and lastly, all right, 1, 2. I think that's all of them, right? No, wait, what? Oh, wait, never mind. There's one more.
God, this is so hard for me, bro. All right, I'm in my top 5 right now. Okay, I got mine, and I feel I'm looking at it. How do I feel about this?
All right, I'm feeling pretty confident with mine. You want to go first, or do you want me to, or should we go at the same time?
You know what? Let's go at the same time.
All right, same time. Here we go.
Hold on. I can't even see. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna put up your screen. Oh no, you know what? I don't know if we should, because if we reveal our board, then they're gonna see the whole list. So let's not reveal the board. So, all right. So, what is your number 9?
My number 9, I am 100% sure is the same as yours. Rocky 5.
Rocky 5 is my number 9. What is your number 8?
My number 8 actually could have been interchangeable with number 7. 7 and 8 are probably the same rank for me, but Creed 3 is my number 8.
I believe it or not, I got Creed 2 as my number 8. I just didn't really care for that film, unfortunately.
Okay, I will say Creed 3 was extremely well directed, though. That even though it's really low on my list, I still did really enjoy it, especially some of the fight scenes in it.
Oh, God damn it, man! Hold on a second. I gotta change something real quick. Hold on.
All right.
Hold on. Because I'm looking at this like, really, Adam? Is this how you feel?
Oh, cool. We have one response given their list from Retro Nerd Girl. I didn't see all the Rocky films, but so far it's Rocky, Rocky 4, Rocky 2, Rocky 3. I have to watch all the others. After 4, I thought there was no way they could outdo it. LOL. Rocky Balboa, it shocked me, which is basically Rocky 6, because that was at the point it was made when there seemed like there was no other Rocky story that you could tell, but they definitely kind of Sylvester Stallone definitely showed that they could still keep them going.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what's funny? We kind of have a real life Rocky Balboa situation going on now with Logan Paul and Mike Tyson getting into the ring together. It's literally the plot of Rocky Balboa.
But Jake Paul, his brother, Jake Paul.
Or sorry, my bad.
Yeah,
I get the Pauls confused.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So 8, you had Creed 2. You had Creed 3.
Yeah, Creed 3 at number 8.
I had Creed 2. What is your number 7?
Like I said, it could have easily been number 8, but Rocky 3 is my number 7.
I've got Rocky 4 as my number 7.
Nice.
Not to say this is where it's just like these are so close to me. It's like you said, it's trying to pick your favorite kid, you know. Give me Rocky 4 for number 7. What is your number 6?
Number 6 for me is Rocky 4.
Number 6 for me is the first Rocky.
Oh, wow. Okay. That is going to be very different from my list.
Yeah. For me, Rocky, it's just too slow of a burn for me. But I love the story. I love the love story in it between him and Adrian. That's a really big one for me. But yeah, I'm sorry, man. I know it's really low on this list for me, but it was hard for me to connect with the first Rocky at times. So yeah, it's number 6 for me. What was your number 6? Rocky?
Oh, Rocky 4.
Rocky 4. What's your number 5?
My number 5 is Rocky 2.
Okay, I got Rocky Balboa as number 5. I thought that was a good one too. Considering the fact of how long that movie came out, I really enjoyed his story of coming out of retirement and building himself back up for one last battle. I thought it was pretty cool. So that's Rocky Balboa is number 5 for me. Number 4?
Oh, number 4 for me was Creed 2.
I got Creed. That's where Creed 3 comes in for me. I love the debut of Michael B. Jordan here as a director. I thought the story was really compelling and intense to have somebody like Jonathan Majors who just brings like a gravitas on the screen. And I really love the action sequences in there. Like I can see his anime influences for sure. I was hella impressed with Creed 3, honestly.
Definitely.
Oh, now we're in our top 3, man. We're in our top 3. Who's your number 3, Stuart?
Okay, much like with number 8 and 7, number 3 and 2 could have easily been interchangeable. But my number 3 currently is going to be Creed 1.
Mine too. I got Creed as number 3 on mine. I love that movie. It definitely has a great replay valuability for me for sure. I think Michael B. Jordan as Creed's son. I love his journey in here. Him reaching out to Rocky to kind of train him. I just thought it was a really inspiring story, man. Of getting out of your dad's shadow and becoming your own man. I thought it was brilliantly done. So yeah, give me Creed at number 3. Top 2. Who you got as your number 2? You said this was interchangeable with your 3, right?
Yeah, exactly. So my number 2 is Rocky Balboa.
It's a great one, man. It's a great one. I could easily see it being up there. For me, I pity the fool.
Yes.
Give me Rocky 3, baby. Something about 2 grown men in tight shorts running along the beaches in the water together and embracing. It gets me every time. No, I just love the story of Rocky changing up his style, getting nitty gritty, going to the hood, having somebody else teach him how to fight and just building upon what he already knows. Self-doubt, it's very much the Sami Zayn Gunther storyline for you wrestling fans. I'm afraid, okay? I'm afraid. Having to go against Clubber Lang, somebody that literally just killed his manager. Man, it has all the ups and downs for me, man. And it's got a Hulk Hogan cameo. Yeah. Come on. It's so campy. It's good, man. Give me Rocky 3 as my number 2.
Yes.
And number 1, Stuart. What is your number 1?
I mean, there's only one movie left. Rocky, the original.
Oh, that's yours. Okay.
Yeah, my number 1 is the first
it's
Rocky
the original
movie.
One. I like it. For me, I like number 2. I like number 2. Rocky 2 is my favorite. I love the idea that he gets another opportunity here. It's pretty cool to kind of see him get all this fame from his first success, but not having achieved what he wanted. And then it kind of interfering with everything that he's trying to do. And then you got Adrian who gets sick. And I love the idea of like her being in the hospital and she just like, she wakes up just at the perfect time and tells him like, fight. Win. And then the win, and then the music hits, and then you get the great. Isn't that the classic like running up the steps montage and stuff of him also?
Well, that wasn't they had, if I'm not mistaken, I think the montages in Rocky 1 and 2 were very similar because they both had him running up the steps, if I'm not mistaken.
2, I think, is like when he's got like all of fucking Philadelphia running with him. Like,
yeah, that's right.
He's training, and then everybody starts running with him. And there's a great scene in Rocky 2 where homeboy, like, he's running with everybody, and then he just starts sprinting. He just starts sprinting, and he separates himself from everybody else. And there's this one little kid that's like trying to catch up with him, and he's like, go. Rocky just books it, bro. Like, Sylvester Stallone, I thought was just incredible in that. And then him winning the title and thanking his wife. I mean, bro, it gives me chills just thinking about it. I just thought it was a great redemption story for somebody who, I don't want to say didn't fail to kind of prove himself, but like he stood literally toe to toe with the champion, only to come back and actually win the title. Man, I absolutely loved it, bro. Rocky 2 for me is like my favorite. And I don't think it was my favorite for the longest time, but I feel like the more and more, I think Rocky 3 was my favorite. And then the more and more I watched it, I just gained a whole different appreciation for Rocky 2, man. Rocky 2 is my favorite.
Definitely.
So great lists, man. Yo, first off, Doomsday, we really appreciate you asking us that question. That was one of the most hardest questions I've ever had to answer, a live viewer question. But as a huge movie guy and somebody that has loved the Rocky franchise, man, I loved answering that question. So thank you so much. We definitely, I'm probably going to clip that and make that its own individual video for sure, Stuart.
Yes. Yeah, no, this was like a perfect question to end on.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I wanted to save that one for last. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for all the questions. But yeah, we appreciate that. Yeah, other than that, guys, I think that's probably going to wrap it up here for our Sam says, did you see my reply? Did I? Yes, it feels like he says I need to see Creed 3. He also says Creed 2 was all right, but not as good as the first Creed. Yeah, I agree. I think the first Creed was really, really good. He also says I love Jean-Claude Van Damme, Bloodsport, brilliant film. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we both had the first Creed in number 3, right?
Yeah.
Your first Creed is at number 3. Yeah, it was a really, really great film. But thanks everybody for all your live viewer questions. If anything. Oh, he says no. The Wesley Snipes Blade rumors.
Oh,
yeah. Sam. Sometimes I don't get to every reply. Sometimes I don't like some things. I rather just not necessarily highlight. Not to say that they're not worthy, but like I rather talk about Wesley Snipes if it's a real kind of rumor sort of thing. So I may not necessarily answer every comment or question that people make in the live chat. Just ones that really sort of jump out to me. But we appreciate you always communicating with us.
But Secret Wars, man, I'm telling you, I think that'll be where we get all the really big, Marvel characters that people haven't seen, that we haven't seen in years. So I think if Wesley Snipes is going to reprise his role as Blade in anything, it'll be Secret Wars.
I hope so. Just pay your taxes, Wesley. Pay your taxes. All right, y'all. That's going to do it for us here today at APlus Hero Report. We'll be back live next Sunday for you guys, as always. It will, in fact, be Star Wars weekend. So we definitely probably expect some Star Wars news. Again, I'm going to be doing a review for the Phantom Menace 25th anniversary for you guys. I'm going to see if I can get Stuart to do a quick, and I think with Tales of the Empire, I think the episodes were like 15 minutes. They were super digestible. So maybe I can get Stuart to do a season review for Tales of the Empire for you guys. Sometime to drop maybe towards the tail end of that weekend or maybe Monday. Maybe Stuart will be able to also get to the what was the series that we just talked about?
Which one?
Just Knuckles.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Knuckles TV series, if we can get that out. X-Men episode 6 and 7 review combo later for you guys this week. Bakuwaj episode number 9 for you Super Sentai fans also. And yeah, hopefully X-Men 97 episode 8 later this weekend. And of course, look, if you're big wrestling fans, we got our WrestleManiacs podcast that drops 3 times a week. You got your SmackDown, NXT, and Raw reviews Monday, Tuesdays, and Fridays. So if you're a big wrestling fan, make sure you hit that subscribe button also. But that will, in fact, do it for us. We got plenty of content headed your guys' way. May the 4th be with you before I see you then. But until then, Stuart, where can people find you on social media?
You guys can find me on Instagram at TurboStew01.
Appreciate the shout out, Retro Girl, and hopefully we'll see you soon also. If you want to follow us on social media at APlus Opinions, active everywhere on social media at APlus Opinions. We are also on Spotify if you want audio and video versions of the show, at Hero Report, or APlus Hero Report. We're also on TikTok at Hero Report. Check us out there. If you want to join our Discord for a forum community, if you like forum communities, there is a link in the description box below. But until next time, guys, do us a big favor. As always, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and keep it A+. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.